All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right, welcome to the College Breakdown Show. This is Ray Cruz with my friend Dre Montez. How you doing today?
What's going on, boss?
What's up? So we had some big college football games during the weekday. On Thursday, we had the Miami and Virginia that went down to the wire, and a 33-yard missed field goal. So what's your take on that Virginia Miami game?
You know, it's my own fault. I laid the under on that game. And when that safety happened, I kind of like threw my remote control of the TV, almost ripped the television off the wall. But the U is really going to let me down. The U really let me down. That was a good game, though. In the end, it was a good game. Crucial play calling, non-tackling. But that field goal, you got to make that. You got to make that.
Yeah, that field goal is 33 yards out. He's supposed to be one of the best kickers in the ACC. Sometimes it does happen to the best of the kickers and stuff like that. What do you think about Tyler Van Dyke, since they didn't have Derek King got there at quarterback, the starting quarterback was injured. The Miami sports department didn't tell what kind of injury he had, if it was an injury, or if they just send him for, give him a rest. So what do you think about Tyler Van Dyke, who actually did pretty good? He had a better QBR rating of 58.6 to Armstrong, who had 56.5, who threw one interception, one touchdown. Tyler Van Dyke threw for 203 yards, one touchdown, no interception.
Well, going into the game, I thought they had announced that it was his shoulder going down, but you could be right about there's something a little bit more going on. But Van Dyke, to me, he played a whole lot better in the second half. It looked like he was trying to push the ball in places it shouldn't be, making throws you should not make, not checking the reads or the check downs on that nature in the first half. The second half, I think he really played really well.
Yeah. Now, Virginia came off the 2-game skid, losing to North Carolina, and then they turned around. I forgot who else they lost to the second game, but coming down to this, they needed this win. Virginia did, and they got the win, a 2-point victory down in Miami. So Manny Diaz in Miami, they were trying to get this program back to the era of the 80s when there's the big show, the U. Now more people are showing the down U than the up U. So how do you expect Manny Diaz to get this ship redirected back to that? Is he the right coach for it, basically?
I don't think he's the right coach, and I think it's going to take a little bit more. See, that's the thing. You can't reprise programs from what they were in the 80s and the 90s. You got to come in with your own agenda, and you need a face to start that. They're going to need a big-time recruit to push this. It's going to take somebody with some leadership abilities as well as a coach to do the same thing.
Right. And if you look at that point of view too, the Miami Hurricane fans wants this big time program back. They thought this year they would be a little bit different with King coming back, but still they're missing a lot of pieces. So what what's going on with Miami now? King made that big announcement not going to the NFL, coming back. You think this is hurting his draft stock?
Well, I think he needs to get healthy. That's key. That is the major key. And I think the thing that's hurting Van Dyke, was hurting him. They're giving him the wrong plays. He can't execute the plays that they're giving to him. You got to call in the plays that he can pull off. I think that's the big deal right there, right now with Miami, right now with the offense coordinator and quarterback coach. You got to put in the right plays that the quarterback can execute. Don't give these guys the wrong plays that quarterback A can do, but quarterback B can't do on that level.
Yeah, that's some reason too. I mean, his skill level is a little bit better, but getting him out of the pocket, moving him around is more of his forte. Standing back in that pocket, he can throw the ball, but sometimes he's inaccurate. Sometimes he gets the ball overthrown.
That's
Taking back
the risk
last,
you take with a scrambling quarterback, though. That's the risk you take with a scrambling quarterback. He's going to extend the play. He's going to do things before the play, before you get done out of your route. But that's to come with that connection with the receivers and your running backs and your tight ends. It comes with that connection and with practices to understand the quarterback and that feeling. But coming in this situation, being a starting quarterback in a game like this, you got to be ready for those X's that are not at the O's and the O's that are not the X's.
so, what is your expectation of Miami this year? Are they going to actually make a bowl game, or are they going to have to? Are they going to actually miss out on a bowl game this year?
They may be going to the Netflix Bowl. You never know what movie or comedy show is going to play on the Netflix Bowl. So they're definitely going to get at least 6 or 7 wins to get into a bowl game. But it's not back to the U, as we all know it. They're the down U.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just a couple things I picked up on is that the defensive coaches doesn't fare too many well down in big schools and stuff like that.
Right.
I know Manny Diaz is a good defensive coordinator, but what's going on with his defense right now?
See, that's the thing. I'm lacking something in college football that a lot of people have not been paying attention to. To me, it's the tackling. And the tackling is not where it should be, where it needs to be at. I don't know if these guys are trying to just make a big name for themselves or trying to put some little stock in a draft status, but tackling in college football is at an all-time low to me. And that's one of the major things to me with Miami football. They can't tackle.
Yeah, they have sometimes they get in that situation where they get the double team blocks on them. They can't get off of it. Is that lack of their conditioning? Do they think they need to pep up a little bit more towards that conditioning?
That's a great point right there. And I do believe that. They college football gave a knock on Lou Holtz and as well as Chip Kelly on their practice terms and terminology and procedures and things of that nature. And they have certain restrictions on what you can and can't do in college football when it comes to practice and getting prepared for the game. But those old school tendencies are being missed right now. And you can tell what's lacking in college football. Nobody can tackle. You look at the past 3 weeks, tackling is a big key. Nobody is wrapping up. They're trying to make a big name for themselves or get expelled from the ball game. And that's the one key thing I'm looking for in this game is tackling. Well, in all the games today, I'm looking for tackling, especially on the big talented teams that are underrated dog.
I mean, yeah, you talk about tackling and stuff like that, but back in the '80s and stuff, they were more tackling in practice, which would get you better in game situation. And you could tell from the '80s to the '90s to now, as they decrease the practice time of hitting in pads and wrapping up, and how much time they spend on you know, the dummies and stuff like that. It's totally different when you got to tackle a human than a dummy, because a dummy is just stationary right there where you need it to be, where you learn your techniques and stuff. But then when you tackle somebody who's moving around and stuff like that, who's jump cutting, cutbacks and spins and stuff like that, you got to get used to that, and you can't get that repertoire in practice now because of all the limitations. Do you think that's really hurting today's game?
Yes, I really do believe that is one of like the main component of things that's being missed in college football is just the basic concept of the game. it's the basic fundamentals that are being overlooked, and nobody's really paying attention to addressing the situation. So we're going to see big plays, a big run, three guys going after the guy, he breaking out for a 30-yard run. It becomes that yak, the yard after the catch. It's more situations leading up to that because the fundamentals are being missed.
Yeah, you do more hitting in high school and trying to do that, but it's totally different when you get up in college because you're playing against the upper tier seniors who are virtually almost grown men, younger, not the younger type like you were in high school and stuff like that, different body types. And as you go in your college career, you're building up your weight and you're building up your muscles. It's a totally different animal trying to get you prepared to the NFL. So, I mean, even the NFL is lacking today in tackling and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is really the sensitivity of all the medical terminology getting into the football game. We know this is supposed to be, a man sport, not a, tag sport and stuff. Are we looking at the end of tackling football going into the flag football realm?
No, but when it comes to hitting the quarterback and protecting the player safety and integrity of the game, I can see it getting a little hazy, a little gray area. Little gray area right there. But that tackling to the playing on Sundays for money, there's a huge gray area that needs to be addressed because if you look at the tackling the past 3 weeks, there's been a certain little indiscretions here. Like, yo, what is going on here? What are we teaching? Especially on the mixed ones.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. And we're going to move right into this next game here, the number 5 Iowa versus Maryland. The game wasn't even close. 51-14 was the final score. What was your thought on this game?
Maryland has been at it for a while. I think they're the most unrecognized defense in college football the past 5 years. Nobody's paying attention to what's come out of the draft class, what the coaches have been trying to do since that whole incident with, I guess, misconduct on the coaching staff when they lost a young man that played football there. But other than that, I think Fear the Turtle has been trying to come back into the limelight of exposing what they can do on the defensive special teams of adding the adjustments on Sunday football.
Yeah, and if you look at it this way, number 5, Iowa, formula of relying heavily on opponents' turnovers, miscues, they eventually backfired, but it worked to perfection on Friday nights. They forced Turtles did lead the game 7-3 after the first quarter, but a cascade of turnovers in the second quarter allowed the Hawkeyes to open up a 34-7. So it's not basically their offense; it's basically their defense causing the other team to miscues and turning them over to build this lead up. Because back in the day, I was known as a running team.
Yes.
Really didn't build up, and play defense, and didn't really forte their offense. Now and you see some of their Iowa scores are like in the 50s, like this game was today. So we knew it had to be some turnovers. They forced 7 turnovers, 6 interceptions, 1 fumble, 24 points in this ball game.
That's a video.
Over half of their points came from their defense.
Defense needs to make a statement in college football. I think today will be the hashtag. I think in college football will be tackling, defense, and over/under. I think a lot of teams' defense is going to be exposed or recognized today in college football. Just throughout all of the games today, I think defense is going to be the main focal point.
And I'm looking at this too, and talking about that little bit of key right here. Iowa entering week 5 was tied for second nationally in points off a turnover with 51, and is now a runaway leader with 75. So they have that 24 points off last night against the Maryland has put them ahead quite considerably. But Notre Dame, they would need to force 24 points off of turnovers against Cincinnati on Saturday to reclaim the national lead in that category. So Iowa took the lead. Iowa's got the lead for right now. We'll see what Notre Dame does later on when we talk about them and Cincinnati. Right. That's one of the games we're really going to break down into. Iowa moves 5-0, and its defense further cements itself as one of the college football premier units. Maryland quarterback Tagovailoa entered the Friday with 10 touchdowns to just one interception, but his 5 picks doomed his team's chance of improving to 5-0 for the first time since 2001. So Maryland came into the game at 4-0, left the game at 4-1. Iowa came in at 4-0, left the game at 5-0, and they did go up into Bird. Well, I still call it Bird Stadium. I don't know what they call it now. They went into the Bird, and the Turtle didn't snap them, so they snapped. They actually doomed the Turtle.
Fear the Turtle.
Yeah, I don't think you can really say fear the Turtle anymore.
No, those days are done.
Yeah, I mean, you got fear of the Turtle. You got the Hurricane, the Big U. Now they're all upside down now.
I don't think these kids are understanding the whole scenario of these institutions that they're going into. I think it's not being pushed the way it should have been pushed, like in the 80s and the 90s. When you go into this certain school, this is what you need to be repping. I think somehow the message has been lost in some of these old schools that we're used to of being the focal point of college football that are kind of like lackluster right now. I think the message is being misled somewhere.
Now, do you see, we talking about this, you think since Maryland left the ACC, went into the Big Ten, you think that's really hurting Maryland more?
Yeah.
I
do. I think because you got to look at what the kids' intentions are you're trying to bring into the conference. That whole connection with the coaches that was back in the 80s and the 90s, they had a real connection with the kid on what they were trying to do. Now you have no idea what these kids are trying to do. Is it social media? Is it playing on Sunday? Is it getting a bag? You got to worry about things like that. You got to address the situation. And now when you switch a conference, you're getting a whole new group of kids and an attitude and a perception about playing on Sundays. To me.
Yeah, that. So moving away from that game, because that game was really nothing to talk about but the defense. That's all that game was. That game was. If you really like defensive scoring, yeah, that was the game to watch right there.
Right.
Moving right along on Friday, the number 13 BYU Cougars 34-20 win over Utah State. What is your take from this game and the BYU 3 takeaways? Your 3 keys to take away from this game last night.
Offense, defense, and special teams. And those are the 3 points going into this game, as Scott Van Pelt and Stu had pointed out, as this being a game to lay some cash on because of the offensive, defensive tendencies and the special teams. You never knew what you were going to get out of the situation. It's like watching Oregon play Wazoo. You don't know. It's going to be a high-scoring event or a low-scoring game, crazy turnovers, and situations that happen in the game we all scratching our head anytime these two schools play each other. But BYU is trying to come back to what it was like in the early 2000s to me, of being like a pivotal point of putting quarterbacks in the NFL, probably a second or third round pick.
Yeah, I can see that too. But, how about let me give you a quick take on Tyler Algier for BYU. What do you think about him? Is he gonna be? You think he'll be making it into the big next level?
I think a few more matchups. I think they got to still play Arizona State, and I think they still got to play Air Force. I think those 2 games are pivotal points for him in trying to prove that he can equate to understanding a NFL concept of a defense instead of just going out with the regular repetitions. But other than that, I think he has good upsides and a good game concept to bring to Sunday football.
I mean, if you look at it too, BYU was missing 2 starting linemen, his quarterback and starting fullback in this game. Eventually, the backup quarterback, he scored the game first touchdown on the 22-yard run, less than 4 minutes away into the night, and then added a 59-yard score run in the second quarter to push BYU 24-10. And then you got Tyler Algier for the house. He went to the house on that. With the Cougars trying to hold on in the fourth quarter, he delivered again after Utah State cut the lead. The Cougars led 27-20. Algier broke a 67-yard TD run. It was ruled originally ruled a touchdown before a review showed he was down at the 1 yard line and scored on 2 plays later. So eventually he scored on that to put that game away. So what do you think about the Utah State Aggies?
That running game is crucial. You know, we're used to that conference throwing the ball, airing it out, putting up 50-plus points. But if you bring a running game to that, that kind of changes the nostalgia of the game to me, which I like.
Yeah, and that too. And then you got your quarterback shuffle for the Cougars during this game. They had some injuries to Jaron Hall, missed the second straight game because of injury, giving Baylor Romney the chance to start again for the Cougars. Romney played well, completing 15 of 19 passes for 187 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Problem was Romney didn't play in the second half after hitting his head on the turf in the first half. So I guess he had a concussion on that hit.
Yeah, that shit looked painful. That looked painful. He got a little brain
I
socket.
didn't even play the game. I had to go get some ice out of the refrigerator, put on my neck. My neck was even hurting. I did that. So I mean, so moving right along here, the last game we're going to talk about is for Friday night recap is the sorry, I got dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, I hear that. He wants to go out. Let me out, Daddy.
So if we're looking at all this stuff that's going on right now, and talking about the Houston and Tulsa game, this game really wasn't close, 45-10. You had McCaskill gain 77 yards on 17 carries, scored twice from the 1 yard line. They had a 27-yard burst up the middle that included a Peritois, whatever that is, at about the 15 as he broke the final. I guess he spun or he ran him over. They just didn't want to put that in there.
Right.
Just aggressive called a Peritois. Like
a new adjective they want to give us.
Yeah. So Houston is 4-1, 2-0 in the American Athletic Conference. Scored 3 straight possessions early, leading 21-0. This game was basically over in the 3 straight possessions right there. So. You have anything to add to this blowout?
I tell you what, I like the receiving core that's been coming out of Houston the past few years. They got some guys that can really stretch the plays, extend the play, grab the ball in situations you don't think a player can grab the ball. So I'm liking what they're bringing for the funnel to play and watch on Sundays.
Yeah, I get that. And, Houston is, back in the day when they had one of the Detmer brothers.
They had 3 quarterbacks that threw over 40 touchdowns?
Yeah,
in a row.
Even King did.
Some crazy statistic where they had 3 quarterbacks that throw over 40 yards. But that was a different type of football then. Different type of football. You can't do that no more. They got something for you. They got defenses that are prepared for that. You need 2.3 seconds to get rid of the ball now. But back then, yeah, they were definitely putting those quarterbacks back there that could really chuck it up.
Well, we're getting ready to get into our big payday here on the ASAP College Sports Breakdown. It's what it's called, the College Breakdown. We're about to break down all these games on Saturdays. We're going to go and tell our picks on the way. And we get to the games that we really want to think is more important. We'll break it all down to you. So we're going to go to a commercial break from Fox, our Fox D network, which is also we have an ASAP channel on that network dedicated just to the ASAP All Sports All Play network. So we'll be right back after these commercials.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Well. Welcome back to the ASAP All College Sports Play. So, we're getting ready to break down the game. We went and picked last week. I know Dre's probably sitting back and wondering what his final total was. There was 62 games that we picked.
I think I won last week.
Huh?
I think I won.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
It was a little bit close, but not really that close.
It wasn't a landslide, but I know I won.
Yeah. So, if you really want to know our totals here, we're going to get ready to break down the games. There you go, Dre. That is your score right there. 43-19, 39-23 was the.
There it is.
So, where's our final score there on that big, humongous day? So we're gonna get right into it here. Our game, we're gonna go ahead and put our game of the week will be the number 8 Arkansas, number 2 Georgia. So the big game we're gonna really break down right now coming up is number 14 Michigan against Wisconsin. I did put a little bit of stats together here.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can see it. I'm blowing
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Here, I'll bring it up full screen so everybody can see it.
I got it. Okay.
So,
that's a good point. Okay.
So that's my tell of the tape right there. So I want what we call in the Navy death by PowerPoint. I want to create death by PowerPoint so y'all can see that information there. Pretty much you can tell that one side is very good offense. The other side is more talented a little bit on the defensive side of the ball in Georgia Tech, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Sorry, did I go? Yeah, I got it. So, what do you think about Harbaugh and this going against this Wisconsin team? I mean, the Badgers really got a running game. That running game is not really hit stride like they did last year. So that's what's causing them this downfall right now. What do you see out of this game today for Michigan? This is going to be a key for Michigan. Can Michigan keep this hot roll going and leading all the way up into that at the end of the season when they go up against that big Ohio State team that's really going to put them to test? So do we see anything with Michigan that's going to take them down right now?
I think Michigan is on its own demise. I mean, we're trying to live in the days of Bo Schembechler. We're trying to revitalize the program. We're trying to prove that Captain Khaki Pants knew what he was doing in the NFL as a player and as a coach, and trying to bring that back to the men in blue. And at the same time, you got Wisconsin trying to bring back the running program and that defensive force set. I think both programs need to realize, hey, we're not in the days of yesteryear. Let's do what we're capable of doing with the players that we have, and let's execute the program that way. Because to me, Michigan is trying to do things that they're not capable of doing. Just play Michigan football. And to the Michigan fan, that's been the whole ordeal the past 3 years. Do things with the players you have and stop trying to recreate these guys from the days of yesteryear, to me. But that Wisconsin defense is special.
Yeah, if you look at it that way too, but this is my problem with Wisconsin. The Badgers were 1-4 inside the 20-yard line on that 16-10 loss to Penn State. They settled 2 field goals against Notre Dame then when the game was still in question. So the problem for Wisconsin offense is it's not from the 20 to 20. It's from inside the 20, the red zone, from 20 to the end zone. So if they get down there today and they can't score against Michigan, and this game is in Camp Randall, this is the home of Wisconsin. They play better at home than they do on the road.
Not against Penn State.
Yeah, so I mean, so what do you see this Wisconsin team got to do? I think they have to score outside of the 20. They get to that 20, they're not going to score because they have red zone problems. So they got to come with big plays, but Wisconsin doesn't have really big play type wide receivers. They have possession wide receivers.
If they get in the red zone and it becomes a running situation outside of a tight end situation, outside of the quarterback trying to run, I need a fat guy in the backfield. I need a fat guy to blow up that hole. I need to go old school Ron Dane type Wisconsin running football style. But it's not going to happen because everybody's afraid of the expectations of Michigan. Both of these teams are going to be playing really, really scared the first half. And then the second half, we're going to see things that we didn't see the whole damn game. Watch. It's going to be unconventional football that happens today. The first half and the second half are going to be two different football teams.
Yeah, I got your point there. So I mean, if you look at this too, and the way Wisconsin's gonna have to win this game is they're gonna have to force themselves, and they're gonna have to straighten up their defense a little bit, but they're gonna have to run the ball and keep that Michigan offense off the field. So if they don't keep that
Michigan, run the ball.
Yeah, so if they can't move the ball on the ground, they're not going to be able to stay with them, and I think this could be leading up to a blowout game. But I mean, this is Big Ten football. It was supposed to be predicated on defense and running game. But
here's the thing. Here's the crazy circumstance. If Wisconsin can't run the ball and they get into a passing situation, this is going to benefit Michigan's linebacker core. Watch. The linebackers are going to be key for Michigan if Wisconsin gets in a passing situation. I'm talking about throwing the ball on 2nd and 4 type shit. If they're throwing the ball on 2nd and 4, that means the running game is out the window. Gone.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to mix it up on first down. You got to throw on first down sometimes because some teams will put 8 men in the box.
You have to.
If you don't mix up the plays on your first and second down, teams are going to start figuring really quickly that your running game is not really working, and you can't trust your quarterback on those downs if you're running the ball more times and you're not getting picked up 1 or 2 yards. Now, on first down, you pick up 3 or 4. Maybe next time on first down, you come with a quick outside, quick slant or something to mix it up in there and try to keep Michigan off balance. So, I mean, if you look at what is this the best coaching job that Harbaugh has since he's been at Michigan?
No. The year that he screwed up the whole damn school, that was his best opportunity to coach that team, but he failed. I think they missed the bowl game. Or did they get into like the Nokia credit card bowl game or some shit? They got into a weak-ass bowl game one year that Captain Khaki Pants should have really proved his coaching ability. And that's when his job really came under scrutiny. Like, how good is this guy at coaching a collegiate athlete? I think I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, they had like a crazy bowl game, but they had a great football team that could have played on Sundays, but due to the way he coached them, they lost that bowl game.
Yeah, I got your point on that one right here. So we're getting to the point right now, if you look at it this way here, 2 big plays will open things up in the second half as Wolverines escapes a brutal fight at the end. So some people are predicting 2 deep plays for Michigan. That's all it's going to take to put this Wisconsin game away. Do you see that happening at Camp Randall Stadium?
Well, considering what Wisconsin has done and what Michigan has done this year, they're both a big play away from causing that excitement. Whether it's the running game or the passing game, extending the play, getting out of the pocket, there's a big play on both of these teams' sides. Will it be Wisconsin running the ball? Will it be Michigan throwing the ball? If Michigan can throw the ball against Wisconsin's defense, that's a big thing to me, other than Wisconsin running the ball against Michigan, because we know how Michigan is against the run, especially against a rivalry like this.
So if you're seeing that, then so if Michigan starts putting their will and weight and start completing big plays in the passing game, that will open up their running game. Yep. And if Michigan gets a 2-headed monster, is that going to put more pressure on Wisconsin's defense to try to shut them down? And that linebacking core is one of the best linebacking cores in college football.
If Michigan is allowed to stay on the field extend those second and third down situations, that second and 7, that third and 4. If they're able to execute those 2 drives, it's going to be a long day for the defensive and the linebacking core of Wisconsin. To me. But you got a lot of guys on Wisconsin defense that are trying to make a name for themselves on Sundays as well. So you got to look at that. Maybe the defensive coordinator is going to try to do some things that they normally or typically would not do, but could be there.
Yeah, I agree with you too on that. So, on a
Hi, Roy. We've never met. This man almost did not survive the night.
Oh,
You're welcome.
wow.
That's my buddy from Oklahoma.
Uh,
Did not expect that at all.
hey, we're live. You expect the unexpected here on the all sports.
He's a radio television guy from Oklahoma City, man. Yeah.
So we're looking at, we like to do our big games. The games we break down, we usually break down with some of the line scores. The over and under for this game is 43.5. Who do you have winning, and do you have them going over or under the 43.5?
See, that's the thing, man. I took the under in 6 college football games this weekend, and I already lost the first game on Thursday. But I got the under, man. I looked at the point spread. I looked at the differentials on the coaching and the players, all of that, the expectations, where we're playing at, everything. But I got the under on this, man. I just want to see a good football game out of these 2 quality football schools.
So who you got winning?
Michigan. Who you got?
Michigan's going from the big house to the Camp Randall and pulling out the victory.
You got Michigan winning?
I have Michigan winning because Michigan's got a passing game, and they got some big play type plays. I think I do agree with this. Some of this assessment that I found online saying 2 deep balls is going to put them in, and I think Wisconsin's defense is susceptible if they get the running game from Michigan going in that play action pass. The linebackers will probably end up biting on the play action pass, and that's going to open up the middle of the field for Michigan. I think Michigan's got better wide receivers and better tight ends than Wisconsin's offense. So
the tight end game has definitely come a long way. Michigan, I'm proud of them.
Yeah, and I have the score sheet right here, so I am keeping track right now.
That's a hell of a sheet you got there, buddy.
we got 58 games today. We're going to predict 58 games. So we get to our game. We get to our game that we have. Now, sent you the list for in the production meeting. That's the games we're going to talk about. So some of them will be quick, and some of them will be a little bit longer.
There you go.
We're breaking down some of the games.
I'm following your lead.
So then this is going to be a quick one because this is not one of our key breakdown games for today. Tennessee will go into Missouri. This is a 12 o'clock game on the SEC network. Who do you have in this ball game?
I'm going to try for the second week in a row. I'm going with Mizzou. Every time Mizzou plays, the strangest fucking things happen. Pardon my French. Things happen in a college football game you expect to happen in a video game. Every time Mizzou plays, just things happen. Things happen that you don't think are conventional football plays or situations that happen to that school or program. But I got Mizzou winning this one.
Well, I'm going with your lead here because, Mizzou sounds like a wild zoo party type atmosphere. I think Tennessee will come in. I think they'll throw the rocks from the end zone, try to keep them out of there. So I think Missouri is a little bit better at home than they are on the road. And Tennessee, I still can't figure them out right now because they play inconsistent some games. Some games they play right with them. Last week just inconsistent. So I think Mizzou's a little bit better thing. So I'm going with Mizzou too. So we're agreeing on two games right here. This is another quick game. Charlotte at Illinois.
49ers against the Fighting Illini.
Not the San Francisco 49ers, the Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, the Charlotte 49ers, yeah. I met the kid that started the Green Wave. Those of you 49er basketball fans know what I'm talking about. and they just started that football program, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a love for the 49ers. I'm a 704 fan by heart. So I got to go with Charlotte on this one. Got to go with them. Got to go with Charlotte.
Well, to me, if this game was in Charlotte, they might have a shot. But they did beat Duke, a weak Power 5 team in the ACC at the beginning of the season. They've been playing good here lately. So, but I think Illinois is back at home. I think Illinois is a little bit too much. I think Brad Bielema is probably in that game situation where he might pick up another victory because he's good at first game victories.
He can't.
He might treat this, this is the first time these two teams are playing, so he might win because he thinks it's the first time, game. So he's always good on the first games. I think it's the first game of the, between the two teams. So I think Illinois is going to win this game here.
It's going to be a good game. I see a low-scoring affair, close game.
So the next game we're going to get ready to break down here will be the Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech game. That's the tail of the tape.
Man.
You're talking about two teams. They're known for defense. Pitt's known for the defense now. They got a little bit of offense with their quarterback. You see the tail of the tape here. You see they're pretty much close here. Pitts has a better offensive percentage on per game than Georgia Tech. What Georgia Tech did to North Carolina last week with the defense, smothered them, kept Howell off balance, kept the Tar Heels off balance. They took a big lead in that game. So what do you think about this game right here?
Based on the statistics right here, this is going to be a close game. Close damn game right here. If it goes up to the formula that you presented right here, this could be a close game right here. But I got Georgia Tech pulling this one off. I got Georgia Tech winning this one. In a close game.
You got Georgia Tech winning this game.
Yeah.
Well, I can't go against Pitt because Pitt's defense and their offense is coming off. They're coming off that big game against New Hampshire. Yeah, it's New Hampshire, 77-7. I think they're gonna keep bringing the train down.
Did you
from
just
Pittsburgh.
say they came off a close game against New Hampshire, 77-7?
No, I said they came off a big game.
Oh, okay.
I think they're gonna keep scoring. I don't see them slowing down right now.
Right.
I see the game close, but I think if Pitt jumps off in the first quarter and gets up a 14-0 run on them, Georgia Tech. The key to Georgia Tech game is their defense has got to stop the other team in the first quarter. Once you get past that first quarter, then they pick up their offense a little bit, and then they pick up a little steam. But do you like the Georgia Tech two-headed monster quarterback?
I do. I really didn't like that before back in the day in college football. Quarterback coach, make a decision. But it's different scenarios. You have quarterbacks that can read a defense and some guys that are just built off of what they call it improvisation. They can just go just based on what they see. They don't know nothing. There are guys that can play instruments that don't know how to read music. That's how I solidified the second quarterback in college football. He's an unconventional guy that can still move the ball and do things to excite the offense, to get the defense motivated as well. So I like the two-headed monster. Being a Florida Gator football fan, you know how I feel about the two-headed monster. But you got to utilize the situation in the right damn way.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. You get another team, you got to expect another quarterback. So you got to get a team ready for two different quarterbacks. I mean, they both got the same mentality. They both can run. They're both athletes. One's a little bit better passer than the
one
other.
Left-handed?
I think I don't know if it's Sims or the other quarterback.
One of these guys are left-handed, I think. I could have got the wrong schools mixed up here. But I think one of these guys are left-handed. And that's a different look with a left-handed quarterback because Steve Young proved us wrong on what left-handed quarterbacks can and cannot do.
Right. And then if you look at it this too, I know Sims is out of Jacksonville, Florida. I think he played at Sandalwood.
That's quarterback you down there with that quarterback you down there.
That quarterback first, because I watched a couple. He came up and played first coach, which is near me up here in Jacksonville, and they ran that single type wing looking with the quarterback.
Yeah,
and he passed. I mean, he passed the ball maybe once or twice in the game, and he ran over people. I mean, kind of big for high school. He was running people over.
That's
in that
basically
game.
the spray gun that everybody's running. Marv Levy and the old
But
Buffalo Bills type
right.
offense everybody's running right now. That's the K5.
So I look at this. I look at this game here, and I say, well, Georgia Tech beat North Carolina. I think they'll be coming off the high of that game.
But
I
you're a
think.
Carolina fan, so how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm gonna go with Pitt because you can't
This is
pass
Georgia.
Pitt defense.
Oh, this is Georgia Tech and Pitt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You definitely got to pull for Pitt.
I mean, if you look at this situation here, what Carolina off beat was they couldn't keep the quarterback upright. I mean, he was running for his life most of all the game. And if Sam Howell is running for his life, yes, he had a lot of fumbles, but people were picking on him because he fumbled the ball a lot. But it's not ball security. He had the security, but it's people coming from behind him. You know, he don't have eyes in the back of his head, and nobody's probably letting him know, hey, somebody's coming up behind you and stuff like that too. So he had a lot of fall, a lot of miscues. It was cause of that pressure. If Georgia Tech can generate that pressure against Pitt, I see them staying in the game a little bit. But if Pitt and Pickett and that offense and that defense comes to play in the first quarter, and Georgia Tech can't get back to the quarterback, putting pressure on them, that's what beat Carolina. Was not their defense. It was the pressure they put on Carolina up front. Carolina's up, their big guys, supposed to be their strength of their offense in that game. Let Carolina down really because they were blitzing, they were putting pressure. They kept Carolina off bounds because they didn't know where the pressure was coming from.
If Georgia Tech can get the early turnovers in the first half, this is going to be a lopsided game. But if there are no turnovers into the second half, I can see opportunity. But if Georgia Tech can cause those early turnovers, it's going to be a long day. High-scoring game, lopsided event.
I agree with you. It's if they get that turnovers, they get the confidence. That's what Carolina didn't do. They didn't take the confidence away from Georgia Tech at the beginning. Georgia Tech came in and hit them right in the mouth, and they just kept hitting them in the mouth all game long. They picked up confidence after that first quarter, and you can see the confidence of Georgia Tech they had against Carolina. So
it's like Pitt quarterback. If Pitt quarterback can run the ball, long day for Georgia Tech. Long day.
Right.
If he has more runs over 9 yards in the first half, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. I'm not talking about design plays either. I'm talking about busted plays and he just scrambles out of the pocket and gets 9 yards or more. It's gonna be a long day for Georgia Tech defense. But other than that, I got Georgia Tech winning this game.
Right. I think Pitt's coming in. I think Georgia Tech is overconfidence now since that Carolina win. I think this could be a letdown game for Georgia Tech because it's just who they're playing in Pitt. And Pitt usually does pretty good on the road in the HCC play. So you got to tip your hat off to Pitt coming in this game here. I think it's going to be close. I think Pitt wins 21-17.
Okay.
And if you really want to look at this game here, let me see if I can. I got the over and under for this game too. Let me see if I can find it real quick here.
It should be like what, 6.5 or 7?
Yeah, it's up there. It's over and under for this ball game. If you really want to put the bets in this game here today, it's over and under is 59 points.
Mm-hmm. What's the spread?
Well, some people are predicting Georgia Tech to win 38-34 is a 3.5 spread in favor of Pitt.
Wow.
But some people think Georgia Tech is going to win 38-34.
I'm telling you, because these two programs know each other. Like I said, that
Right.
first half is going to dictate the game on what they do in the second half. If one school is winning, they're going to take the opportunity in the second half to control the ball game with the time possession. They're going to slow the game down. But if it's a shootout, let's say it's 7-7 coming into the third quarter, they're both going to try to come out and do things they're not known to do. The screen, the read option, the flea flicker, trick plays, all that's going to come into the ball game if it's a 7-7 score coming into the third quarter.
But you also got to look at too. Pitt's offense is that jet sweep. You know, sometimes they figure that jet sweep guy, and next thing you know, you seen the other guy, the running back, going up the middle for about 15, 16 yards because everybody chasing the jet sweep down. Right. So I think that's one of the universal they have to watch out for is the eye candy in the backfield, because Pitt does a lot of eye candy for you. You know, if you choose wrong, it's like that. It's just, you know, the going to a stadium, they got that football and they got all the 3 hats. You got to watch the football and try to pick what hat the football is under. That's Pittsburgh's offense right there, because you got to figure out where the ball is going to go. If the ball is going to come out to RPOs, and you know they brought in that RPO type passing game. So sometimes you fake it to the running back, you hand it to the jet sweep guy. Sometimes you fake it to the running back, fake it to the jet sweep guy, and next thing you know, you're passing the ball down the field for about 25 yards down the field because the linebackers is biting up on all the play action. So that's another thing too. That's another thing too for Georgia Tech have to worry about. If the running game gets off for Pitt, that play action pass type game is very, very doable to get behind them linebackers. And if you get the play behind them linebackers,
they have a rotating head in the running back core. Pitt does. Yeah. So that's the hidden intangible that needs to be looked at and addressed. Or how's Georgia Tech going to handle that as well? And then on the other side, Georgia Tech can extend the play with the receiving core and the tight ends that they have.
That is true too. I mean, they're going in back in. I think this game is played in Bobby Dodd Stadium, so so they're going back into the Bobby Dodd Stadium here on the campus of Georgia Tech, which is unusual because I went there and I parked in a apartment complex down the street because I couldn't find the parking lot. I couldn't find the parking lot. So, I mean, I was trying to find a parking, and some guy told me, "Hey, you park right here. Gave me his parking pass for his complex."
How much you pay? How much? 50?
No, actually, he gave it to me. Really, he didn't charge me.
Okay.
I guess it's because I have my military retired sticker
on the car. Respect that name.
So, you know, walking down the neighborhood in all my Carolina decked out clothes, going into the neighborhood and stuff. Actually, no, they were pretty cool people. I mean, they had me beers on the way down, even though
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Tech. What's that God? Shem God?
You got to think though, it was raining this game was the raining game when they had Ebron and all them. And I think Tech won that game.
I think so too. I wish he would come back and make an appearance at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, but it was an all raining game. I traveled 5 hours from Jacksonville all the way up there. Traveled 5 hours back in fully wet clothes from the game.
It's called a fan, sir. It's called a fan.
I was a fan. Just anybody had to stop at the store to get something to drink, and all you hear was swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. So,
what we got next?
Our next one is one of our breakdown games also. So it's going to be, I'll bring it up on the screen there. It will be North Carolina versus Duke. This is a 12 o'clock game in King Memorial Stadium. This is a rivalry. I can't say it's a rivalry like no other because it's football. It's not basketball. So, you know, we got not the round ball, but the other kind of ball, you know, leather. So,
but Duke comes in at 3-1. So you need this game no matter what, just for bragging rights. You want to win this game.
Yeah, we want to keep the bell in Chapel Hill. The victory bell, that's what we play for.
I could see this being either a lopsided game or a close game. And that may sound weird, but that's how these two teams play each other. It's going to be an upset or a very close game where it comes down to the kicking game.
Well, I lived this rivalry since I was born. You know, I'm 49 years old. I'm going
old man in the building.
I'm going for my 49th season as a Carolina fan because we had this one thing saying I'm a Tar Heel born, I'm a Tar Heel dead. So, you know, yes, that it was true because my mom did put a Carolina blanket in front of me. She put all the team blankets in front of me And then she started handing it to me. She said, I wouldn't stop crying when they gave me the Duke. The state one, she said I threw up on. The Wake Forest, I just threw it back at her. The only one I kept was the Carolina one. That was my mom's story.
The best thing they produce is Tim Duncan and lawyers. That's it. That's it. And
But it turned Tim Duncan from a swimmer to a basketball player.
Yeah, he was a hell of a swimmer. Hell of a swimmer.
Actually, I went to his hometown in St. Croix.
No kidding.
Yeah, we SEAL Team 8 was doing they had a mission they had to go on, and they needed to get into a water treatment plant, and the only water treatment plant was in St. Croix, so they flew them up. So we went with them because I had to play the Op 4 guys, the bad guys in the water plant. So we went up and actually met Tim Duncan's mom at our stores. They own a chicken store.
Wow.
Good. They cook some good chicken down there.
I tell you what, I did not appreciate Tim Duncan in college or the pros. I thought he was boring as hell. Boring as player.
But I mean,
I appreciate the guy. Now I appreciate what he did.
Yeah.
I wish I had another Tim Duncan right now in the NBA and in college basketball. But this is a football game, and I'm just looking at this here. I think Duke may have the edge.
Don't let the numbers fool you.
I knew you were going to say.
Don't let the numbers fool you.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew
because
it.
Duke lost to Charlotte the first game of the season. They only played Northwestern. That's the only Power 5 school they played.
That's still a good test, though. That's still a good
but
test.
I mean, Northwestern's not been Northwestern like from last year either.
Since the days of Steve Snorer from St. Louis University. But yeah, I got you.
So don't let these numbers fool you, because they ain't played nobody.
You got Carolina winning this?
Of course. I always pick my team, man. Win, lose, or draw. I look at it this way here. This game is played in Keenan Memorial Stadium.
Uh-huh.
We know the last time that Duke and Carolina met at Keenan Memorial Stadium, it went down to the wire. Duke threw the jump pass. Carolina should have intercepted the ball, secured the game. Last year was a blowout in Durham. This year, it could be a close game because they have a good – I get this. Duke has a good running back in Durant, whose first game of the season, he went over 254 yards. So Duke running game, they're averaging about 247 yards. Carolina running game is averaging about 200. But the passing game for Duke is only averaging 297.3. I still think the quarterback is a little bit – if Carolina can get the pressure on the quarterback and jar him around, that's the key for Carolina is their defense. Carolina's defense needs to show up. That's going to be one of the keys. And the offensive line needs to play like they're supposed to be. That's supposed to be our strongest point of our offense is our offensive line because all 5 starters return. So, but that's been the weakest part.
And Duke's special teams show up, this is going to be a field goal kicker's dream game.
Well, also Carolina has blocked 1 field goal this season, so
don't talk to me about blocked field goals. I'm just mad about Thursday nights.
But I mean, if you look at it this way too, you know, this will be a really, really good test for Duke's offense. Can Duke's Blue Devils really get the all-O going enough to push through and in-battle North Carolina's defense? So Carolina's defense has been playing against some good teams this year, and you know we only have 1 Cupcake City so far. We got 1 down the road, but you know we've been playing Power 5 teams. You know, 3 out of the 4 games that we played this year.
Right.
So we're pretty much tested. Duke could have been 4-0, but they screwed up. They gave the game away to the opener against Charlotte. Their chance the Blue Devils might just have the better defense, but Georgia Tech was all but unstoppable when quarterback Jeff Sims stepped in and ripped through the Tar Heels in a 45-22 win. Yeah, that game turned around when Jeff Sims came into the game. Because Carolina was really ready for him because for some reason, I don't know, unless just Sims just had a better game and Carolina just had an off night. But I mean, like I said, you gotta get your hats off to Georgia Tech. They came in, they put a stifle on North Carolina at the beginning.
Right.
So
I still like the Duke Carolina matchup though, but I got Duke winning this in an upset.
you really?
Yeah, I got Duke winning. I'm telling you, I got Duke winning this in an upset. I got like a strange score of 21-18.
I say this. This is what I say. Carolina's offense is not really hitting full stride. I think Sam Howell will be ready because it's a rivalry game. They want to keep developing Carolina. I think this is going to motivate Carolina. I think this game could turn Carolina's season around to the good, to the positive. The over and under in this game is 72 points.
Oh my
Some
God.
people feel that Carolina's going to win 44-27.
What did you say the over under is?
72.
Wow.
Some people believe North Carolina's going to win 44-27.
I don't see that many points being put up, but I got Duke winning this.
Well, you know, this is the first time North Carolina's played at 12 o'clock this year.
And you know how those college kids party.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if Matt Brown lets Carolina kids go out and really party.
Okay. Okay. We'll see.
But
we'll see today.
I think it's because we're playing in Keenan Memorial Stadium. We're better at home than we are on the road. I think Carolina will put up some points in this game, but I don't think Dukes has an offense that can keep up with Carolina. If Duke's running game doesn't hit stride, you keep the Carolina offense on the sideline. If Carolina's offense get more possession than Duke, Carolina's going to win this game. So you got Duke, I got Carolina. Right now, we agreed the first two picks we played. The last three picks we have disagreed on. So,
what we got next?
Our next one will be a few quick ones until we get to the Texas and TCU game. So let's take this off the screen for right now.
Okay. You said who?
This next game will be Minnesota going into Purdue. 12 o'clock game. Who do you have winning this game?
Man, I've seen Purdue be a top notch since the days of Mike Alstott. So I can't do Purdue in anything. I just can't do it.
You're taking Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. And I like Minnesota football program and basketball program and what they've done with that facility. And their coach kind of reminds me of Sean McVay.
Well, they're not playing in Minnesota. They're playing in Purdue. I think Purdue is a better home team. So I'm taking Purdue on this one.
You tricked me on that. You tricked me on that one. I could see I just Purdue football program has not been a topic of discussion in a long time. They're kind of hiding under the radar. I don't know if it's the swimming program that's bringing in the money, the women's basketball team, or softball or baseball or intramural sports, but Purdue program in football has been missing the cue since the days of Mike Alstott.
But I had Drew Brees there 1 year.
Yeah. When they didn't know that was his birthmark, that was funny. They thought it was a dirt stain on his face.
I tell you a quick Drew Brees story real quick.
That's going to be a good one.
I was in Afghanistan, and he came over with the USO tour with Roger Goodell.
Yep, I remember that.
It was him, and he sat down beside me. And one of the military guys asked him, did he get punched in the face really hard, and he just left his fist part of his face or something. And first he asked him, he says, have you ever watched football? The Army guy turned around and says, no, I'm too busy trying to protect y'all dumb athletes. That's what he said. And he's like, oh, okay. And he didn't say that after a while. Then he looked at me, he says, you're a big guy. Did you play football? I said, I played football. I said, yeah, how does I asked him about Julius Pepper. Did he hit really hard? He said he hit him one time really hard. They had to bring smelling salts out. They had to call a timeout and bring smelling salts to wake him up.
Julius Peppers. The best two-way player ever.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, we sat there and had a good conversation, but the guy is. I don't care what he says. I don't care what the program says. That guy's only 5'9".
Who?
I'm
Drew
5'10".
Brees?
I'm an inch
No,
and a half.
I say Drew Brees 5'6".
No, he's 5'9". I can tell you straight up.
I'm 6'2". I've stood
I'm,
next to Drew Brees before. There's
I have to.
no way in the hell that dude 5'9".
I'm 5'10". I'm about
He
an inch
must have had
taller
on
than him.
elevator shoes that day
He must have or something.
because he's
I
a
don't know.
little
He
bitty
had boots
fella.
on. I don't know. They made him wear boots. So
Yeah, he's a little bitty fella. Little bitty fella. He has Tom Cruise shoes. He wears heels. When I found out Tom Cruise wore heels, I was like, what?
do you know Tom Cruise is the only actor that has flown the F-14, drove a NASCAR, and have now flown the F-18?
Yes. Tom Cruise, that deal.
Yeah.
He's he's our Steve McQueen.
He told him that he wasn't going to do the sequel of Top Gun 2 if he couldn't drive the airplane.
You better fly that thing the way it should be flown, sir.
But anyway, to get off topic here, Toledo versus UMass.
What?
Yeah, this is a 12 o'clock game today.
Is that the Minutemen versus the Torpedoes?
Yeah, the Rockets versus the
Rockets.
Minutemen. This game's
Man.
played at UMass.
That's a bunch of smart kids right here. I'm going UMass on this one. I'm going to leave it at that. I just love UMass. Love them.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say the Rockets going to come in there and
They're
lay
going
them all out. Yeah, just lay them all out. Yeah. So we're playing back and forth here. Right now we have not been together since the first two games we played so far. So we're gonna get right into the next game here, which will be Texas versus TCU playing in Fort Worth today.
Horned Frogs versus the Longhorns.
What do you have? What do we want to know about this game? This is one of our breakdown games. Let me set the stage here. This game is at 12 o'clock at M&G Carter Stadium at Fort Worth, Texas. This game will be played on ABC. Both teams come in with a record of 3-1. TCU comes in at 2-1. Here, what do you see? Week 2, the 40-21 loss to Arkansas was a dub, but the Longhorns moved away from Hudson Card at quarterback to Casey Thompson, and all of a sudden it's all blowing up. He's cranking up 620 yards in a 58-0 win over Rice. Was cool, but that was against Rice. Coming up with over 300 yards, both rushing and passing, in a 70-35 win over Texas Tech last week. That's one of your 70 games that you promised last week. So you deliver on one of your promise there.
Here's what I'm saying about Texas. The quarterback change is pivotal. That Arkansas game brings up the question. The ability of the program trying to move forward and bring back that Longhorn program, not just as a basketball and a baseball school, but known as a true powerhouse in football. They're still trying to live up to that dream. But these Horned Frogs have been climbing into our hearts the past 10 years. They've always been a discussion, a topic of discussion on that Sunday morning, that water cooler talk. So I'm looking at this like another close game situation where I think the third quarter is going to be a pivotal point for either Texas or TCU. But I got the Horned Frogs winning this one.
And you started to pick early. I didn't even get to the over and under yet. You already
my bad.
You already picking the Horned Frogs. kicking the drama into high gear here. Well, I'm gonna take someone from Lee Corso, his little addict. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. I like Gary Patterson. I like his little sweat. His needs to change clothes because it looks like he wet his pants or he had some kind of diarrhea situation.
He sweats profusely.
I don't know how to make him stop, but sometimes I think he just sweats over his playbook, and sometimes his playbook just gets messed up. So if you look at this game, I liked what they did with the changing of Card to Thompson. Thompson's been giving them a better feel, better dual threat quarterback. Gives something that TCU has to prepare for than what Card has. The Horned Frog defense doesn't have its normal stuff. SMU ran wild in a win the last week. Carl threw for too well in the previous game. Texas is about to do both. So I'm going to go with the way game team and Texas Longhorn for the win because I think they have a better quarterback, and I think their situation is a whole lot better than what TCU is right now. And what SMU did to TCU didn't look pretty, and I think it's going to even look worse in this ball game. The over and under in this game was 65. Some believe the score is going to be Texas 37, TCU 30.
Wow.
So are you going to take the under or the over in this game?
Taking the under. I'm taking the under.
I think Texas could put up another 70 points by themselves in this game.
They can. They
But will they do it? I don't know. So I agree with you. I say this game probably will be about in the 50-point range. So it'll be under the under.
And who you got winning this?
Oh, I took the road team in Texas.
Okay.
They bring Bevo with them, and then he's just stump all over in the stadium.
I got Texas Tech. I got TCU winning this, the Horned Frogs. Give me them all day.
I don't know. I think we might see this. Might be the time we might see him have to get some IVs in him in Patterson.
But see, TCU kind of has that little Oregon program in them. They can bring out those trick plays. They can bring out these elusive players that we totally did not have on our radar, that are on the sideline, that are ready to go in and play and prove to you, coach, I'm ready to get in this ball game. That's the thing about TCU that really brings up that topic of discussion. Could they pull this victory out? And this could be one of those big win games for this program, considering the situation.
I think I agree with some points in that with the trick plays, but I think Steve Sarkisian has rejuvenated his career by going to Alabama and learned from Nick Saban, and now he's bringing that mentality to Texas. So I mean, he's bringing that mentality. I think his offense is a little bit better than what Texas had before. He's got a quarterback in there now who's running. He can figure running his offense. If TCU cannot start a double-headed monster and him passing, because the guy's accurate with his arm too, and with his legs, so he's got a two-headed beast back there. And SMU ran all over the Horned Frogs, and what do you expect Texas is going to do? Texas is a running team. I mean, if you look at these stats here, Texas total offense is 487.5 to 460. I mean, it's pretty close. TCU's got better passing, but look at that rushing.
That rushing is tough.
267 yards.
Yeah, that's tough.
Now, if you look at the defense, TCU's defense is only giving up 391 yards per game to 405 for Texas. But if you look at it this way, Texas defense is only giving up 181 yards rushing. That's 80 more yards than what Texas does in a game. So I mean, if they can keep that number under 200 for Texas, then they have a shot. If that rushing number goes over 200, they have no shot.
You think the coaches are pushing that? You think they have that circled on the board, 200, with a big circle around it, with a red marker? 200.
Yeah, but
if we do this, we can do that.
But then, talk about your early points, tackling. TCU defense is not really tackling that great. I mean,
got to wrap them up.
I mean, some of these runs they stop them in the backfield, but the guy ends up about 5 or 6 yards down the field after the first initial contact. So that's that key. It's that initial defense, that initial thing is the tackling. I mean, it's something for Carolina. Nate said he's got TCU. He said only because Texas does not have a great record against them. True, but they have a different coach.
They know each other. The past predicts the future when these two teams play each other. Nobody's going outside of character. That's the bad thing about this matchup. Because both teams are looking at what they've done in the past, and both coaches are going to try to replicate what both programs have done, other than going out there and just say, hey, Here's the game plan. They're coaching this game on things that happened in the past.
True, I understand that. I mean, it's a rivalry. It's one of those Battle of Texas games. You know, everybody's trying to jump on the Longhorn because the Longhorn has got all the money in the game and stuff. So I mean, this is a big test. I mean, they could play up for this game. TCU could be a different animal, but I think Texas still can prevail because I think it's just one of two things. Is I think the running backs are going to be too good, and I think the quarterback's going to have a big day.
This is a win that Texas needs, but they don't need a close game. But I think the Horned Frogs are going to prevail in this one here. And just, I don't think it'll be a shocker or an upset, but I think TCU is going to go in this game and just do what expected and play Horned Frog football and win this game. A close game, not field goal, but probably possession-wise, close game.
Yeah, we're also getting close to that Oklahoma and Texas game too. Is Texas going to overlook the TCU team? But one of the interesting points I circled on one of my notes here is TCU has been big problems for Texas with 6 wins in the last 7 years.
There it is. I'm just saying.
So to me, if Texas is not looking ahead for that Oklahoma game and they play what today's game is all about, and they put this on their big board right here. You know, I think Steve Sarkisian has probably already figured that out and probably put it in and read it in their heads. So
if he's already drank the 12-pack, he can pull this one out.
Hey, you never know.
Because we already know he gets sauced up before the game. He'll run on the field in a minute.
Well, I mean, Steve Sarkisian has done pretty good with Alabama and learning from Nick Saban, though, went to Alabama. You know, some of the coaches that go from
he should have kept his ass at USC.
Yeah, going from worst coach, getting a tutelage under Nick Saban and come out pretty good. Look at what Kiffin has done under, you know, he went from, you know, from Alabama down to Florida International or Florida A&M.
He's still trying to get him up under his daddy's name title. You know, he's still trying to live up to daddy's expectations, and he needs to stop that and just be his own coach.
But I mean,
Nick Saban is his biggest downfall. He needs to get from up under both of those two people, but he can't.
But his dad was a defensive coordinator. He's an offensive side.
But he still has dad tendencies.
Oh, true. You can't go away from your dad's tendency. I mean, he lived with him all his life and lived under the ram of the Tampa 2 defense,
which is the worst shit ever to call nowadays.
Because now everybody's done figured it out.
Yeah, you can read that shit from television.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch it, if you play the NCAA football, the Tampa 2 defense is in that NCAA football 2014 game.
Tell you what, we got college football come back next year on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, PlayStation 5. You know, they get all those in stock.
Who got next? I'm ready.
Me too. You know, I put Carolina as a big Super Bowl, big powerhouse in video games.
Oh my god, Carolina football is hilarious to me.
Hey man, you know, culture's changing.
But you're a Carolina fan. I can't knock it. That's your squad. You rock with them, but that's funny because normal people root for Carolina in soccer and basketball.
Women's soccer, you know, you got 20. You know, you got everybody's, you know, saying that, you know, Coach K's the GOAT because he won 5 titles. You have John Wooden won 10, but you can put those two coaches together and still nobody has won more than Dorson at North Carolina female soccer team. He's got 22
soccer team was off the chain. That soccer team is that's a different type of deal. That's a different.
Just think about it. Just think about it. I know we're getting off topic here. Just think about it. You got Mia Hamm coming out of there. Look at the world soccer team, Olympic team. Look at the world. Look at the Olympic team. Most of the Olympic teams are made out of North Carolina soccer players.
My friends are playing Reveille by the military right now in the background. These guys These guys
We had to
are
get
all.
TJ out.
These dudes are on
We
point.
didn't want to get shot.
They're
So we're
playing
moving.
reveille.
So we're moving right along to the
What's our
next
next
game
game?
here on our list, which will be the Memphis at Temple. So what is your take on
Tigers
this
versus
game?
the Owls, right?
Yep.
Those aren't even real teams. What are you making up over here?
Hey, we
I
cover
like
everything.
Memphis defense. I like their defense is tough. Really, really tough. I like their defense. But Temple doesn't play the typical football if you're a football fan. They do things unconventional on the offensive side of the ball. So I really don't know how to wager or look at this game right here, but I think it's still a fun game to watch.
Yeah, this game will be played at 12 o'clock at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The game is on ESPNU. Memphis is 3-1. Temple is 2-2. Some of the key the victories here. They passing attack for Arkansas State was 417 yards and put up 329 on UTSA. There aren't a slew of mistakes down the field. Passing game has been there. It might not take too much to get this done. Temple's offense worked against Akron and Wagner, but is stalled against Rutgers and Boston College.
Akron and who? Rutgers?
No, Temple played. This is the offense they played the last 4 weeks.
Okay.
They played Akron. They played Wagner last week. They played Rutgers and Boston College. They looked good against Wagner and Akron, but they looked horrible against Rutgers and Boston College.
See, this is one of those type of games where quarterback, if he wants to try to be a second-round pick in the NFL, this is that game right here to prove what you can do as a quarterback. This is one of those games.
Another key point here is Temple's passing defense leads the nation. To be fair, it's not like the Owls have faced who's of air shows, but keeping Boston College to 59 yards, Wagner to 23 yards, no matter what. No, the Temple offense isn't moving the chains, but the defense is great at coming up with third down stops. The line is getting into the backfield, and there is just enough positive to keep this game close.
Right, exactly.
But the key to say, however, Temple is finding enough offense to take advantage of the good defense performance against decent defense. At home, the Owls will come up with another strong defensive game to keep this game close. But Memphis will break through with one big play enough to get this game out of reach.
Yeah, I got Memphis winning this.
So you got Memphis winning.
I got Memphis because I like Memphis defense. They got sexy, fast defensive tackles outside of Alabama. To me, They got really fast guys on defense that are really smart when it comes to football knowledge. They linebackers could do a little bit more help. They got great substitution, but I like Memphis defense. But Temple can get you on a little bit of the trick plays, because of the conference they play in.
Right. Hey, we had a football game, man. That's one of them streakers that go across the 50-yard line.
Listen. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Got a streaker.
That's my buddy from Oklahoma. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I had no idea he was behind me.
So if you look at the over and under in this game, it's 59. And some people are saying Memphis is going to win 30.
I got the under, man. I got the under. I'm feeling something about the under.
So we're going to break the streak. We're not going with each other. I'm going with you on this game. I think Memphis is going to come in.
We both got Memphis.
I think they're going to get hit with batteries, though. Huh?
This is our first game we got right?
No, since the first two games we picked together. This is the third game we picked together. But I think Memphis is going to lead with a bunch of batteries being thrown at them. Because they are playing in Lincoln Financial Field. So how do you get batteries in a game? How did he stage them?
I'm impressed by what fans bring into a ballpark. I'm impressed.
So, all right. So we're going to go to a game that is not heavily picked right now. Our next game will be Western Michigan versus Buffalo. This is a 12 o'clock game, and this game is played in Buffalo.
What the? Western Michigan and Buffalo?
Yeah, at Buffalo.
Somebody has a great offensive tackle in the NFL for Western Michigan. That's all I know. I don't know if it's Green Bay or Seattle, but one of them got a great offensive tackle from Western Michigan. So based on that, that's the only reason I'm going to watch that Western Michigan game.
Well, Buffalo offense is struggling. Their defense can't keep people down a little bit. To me, but I think I'm gonna agree with you there on Western Michigan. I think they're gonna go in and they're just gonna sit on them.
Right.
So our next big game that we're gonna be talking about will be this. Well, I call them Loserville. It's Louisville versus Wake Forest. Number 24, Wake Forest is ranked this week.
I bet you love this game, don't you?
Huh?
I bet you love this game because you're a Carolina fan. I bet you love this matchup right here.
I like it because Soloway, played at coach at Appalachian State. He knows for upsetting ranked teams and stuff like that. And he's got Louisville. He's got Louisville playing good. I mean, look, if you look at the tail of the tape here, I mean, the total yards on offense is pretty close. Only like 7.2 yards represent the total yards. This is surprising, though, that Louisville is leading in passing over Wake Forest.
They can throw the ball. That's another quarterback in school. And people are forgetting about that. They are producing Sunday caliber quarterbacks. They are producing that. Just look at Louisville's history, even like 2 years before Lamar Action Jackson. And then since he's left, look at what the program has been doing when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah, and if you look at it, too, it's surprising that Wake Forest leads the rushing in offense. But look at the defense here. 245 yards, 245.5 in passing for Louisville. Wake Forest passing is 242.3, so they could get that 240. They can get their yards per game a little bit more. Rushing, Wake Forest is only giving up 119 yards rushing per game. Louisville is averaging 158.8. Louisville's giving up 172. But Demon Deacons, all defense is only giving up 14.3 points per game. Louisville is giving up 26.0.
Yeah, that point differential right there, that comes into question, especially with the passing game and the defense. But what is game in playing at Wake?
Yeah, this is playing on the BB&T field in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, man, Winston-Salem. Smoke them if you got them type field, as I call it. This could be a little conduct detrimental to the team right here. If Wake can hang in this game into the third quarter, this could be like a high-scoring, close game, like a 48-45 type situation.
I mean, you got Louisville coming off the victory against Florida State at 31-23. And then you have Wake Forest coming off the victory against Virginia, 37-17.
They both coming off of school wins that back in the day would have been regarded as like some good shit. But now, the two schools they both beat, programs are kind of like on the downside, but people want to give them like hyperbole, high props. But is it really deserved or not? You beat a Florida State school that's on the downside. You beat a Virginia team that has no identity. So coming into this game, both of these teams are now trying to figure out who they are and where they're trying to go.
And I mean, you got two good quarterbacks. You got Cunningham for Louisville, and you got Hartman for Wake Forest. So this is going to be a battle.
I like Cunningham. I like him.
Hartman?
Cunningham.
Yeah,
I like him. He's high on Mel Kiper's chart. He's high.
So who do you look – do you want to guess what the over and under in this game is?
What you got, 62?
You say 62?
What you got?
I'm bringing it up right quick here. Well, this game is played at Winston-Salem. This game is at 12:30 on the ESPN3. Louisville coming in at 3-1. Wake Forest coming in at 4-0. You were close. 61.5.
Wow.
You were close.
See,
Wake Forest is
I
favored by
already laid my
7.
cash for the day, so I'm not betting no more today. I already laid my money out there, but that's a good one.
Well, some writers got the Wake Forest winning 34-24 because they're playing at Wake.
Because
Wake Forest is as a 7-point favorite in this game. So who you going with? You going with Louisville?
I'm going with Louisville.
Well, I always got to come up with an upset here in one of my picks. So this is my upset special. I think Louisville is going to come in upset number 24 because I think the Demon Deacons is going to run into a little bit of a run of a stop defense. So I have Louisville winning this game also by a field goal.
Okay. Let's go.
Well, our next game that we're going to really talk about was USC and Colorado, but we're leading up to that game. We have to stop in between. We have to go to Georgia Southern, where they play in Appalachian State. Appalachian State at Georgia Southern. Georgia State, I'm sorry.
Georgia State or Georgia Southern?
Georgia State.
Georgia State.
Appalachian State. No, they're playing in Georgia.
In Georgia. Wow.
Actually, I think they play in the old Atlanta Braves baseball stadium. They turned it into their home field.
That's tough.
So
I know App State just in history. I don't know too much about Georgia State.
Well, I seen Georgia State play. They have a good quarterback. They did play against Carolina. They started out pretty good against Carolina. Carolina defense stopped them, stole them in the second half, and Carolina blew them out. But then they went, and then the same team went down to Auburn last week, tested Auburn all the way up through the fourth quarter until Auburn pulled ahead in the fourth to win.
Okay.
So you got a lot cluster, playing Power 5 schools, but then you look at App's history, they've been playing good on the road, they've been playing good at home. So I'm going with Appalachian State in this game.
Okay. I got App State too as well.
All right. Next game that we're going to be talking about is this pitiful Tom Hilton production of USC versus if we playing in Colorado. So what do you think about this game here today?
The Trojans and the Buffaloes?
Yep.
USC program is not where it's at in anything in sports, as people want it to be, hope it to be, remember what it used to be. But Colorado, it's just something about that school I love about them Buffaloes. I got Colorado winning this one here, though.
Nick says my upset is the one of the later game. I have Arizona State. We'll talk about that game later on here. To me, this game. Let me set a little dramatic here for the Tom Hilton's era. I think this game right here is going to put him. I think they should fire him after this game because I think if Colorado wins this game, it's going to be a detriment to his stay there. I think the team is going to rebel on him. I think they're already doing it. So, it's kind of hard to go right now to pick this thing. If you look at some of the numbers here, USC's got better offense. Their defense is Colorado's defense is a little bit better than USC's defense.
Yeah.
If you look at Oregon State beat USC 45-27 last game, Colorado's coming off a 41-35 game. So
is this one of those games you think the USC program and fan base and recruiting class is like, look, we need to win this game?
I think they are.
Because
I don't know.
USC is not looked at as the prestige as it used to be.
But if you look
trying to get back to that limelight, they need that pivotal hire. They had the coaching intangible already. We already talked about Steve Sarkisian, all that. USC needs to get back to what it used to put out in football.
Well, they're going to win today because everybody wins after you fire the coach. You always win after they fire the coach. So, this week it's a lock. They're going to win the game. Next week they will tank because that's how it always goes. But when they fire the coach, everybody goes, oh, shit, it's about us. We're going to play hard, and they win. And it works every time.
That's
true.
true.
It only works for 1 week.
When you fire a coach, the team does get uplifted.
Yeah,
My
true.
kid goes
And
to
then
USC, so I get all the emails, and
His kid goes to USC.
So I
yeah, if you look at Colorado hired McCaffrey, you know, and then he's got his son being the quarterback.
Colorado.
Yeah,
I watched them get beat 77-10 or something when I was in Norman as a kid. Colorado is Colorado. They're
They
always
are.
going to stink. I still wish they were in the Big 12, though.
I missed the old Big 12 days.
I think the reason that Nebraska's not any good is because they don't play Oklahoma. They're not nationally relevant. They're not nationally relevant because they don't play Oklahoma, and they're never.
well, they're too busy in the cornfield. Nebraska is.
There it is.
Picking corn.
It's playing in the cornfield.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, nobody cares. You know, you're out there in the middle of nowhere playing Iowa. Who gives a shit?
Well, I look at it this way here. If you look at this game here, Colorado, yes, it got rolled over by Minnesota. That pass defense was fine, but you know, I think McCaffrey's got him he's got to be coming in the right direction a little bit. It's going to take him 2 or 3, maybe 4 years to get some of his recruits in there. I think McCaffrey is a well-known name. I think he could be a good coach for Colorado, but you know, I think USC. What you saying, USC? If they, you know, playing up for this one game, but this game is in Colorado. I think Colorado's going to be playing out of their mind because they're going to be high. You know, because all the marijuana smell out there. I think that's what's going to be downfall for USC.
It could be.
So I have Colorado pulling this one. So who you got? USC?
I got Colorado winning this.
I'm thinking that same.
I know USC needs this victory, but I think Colorado got this.
Well, the USC comes in with a 7.5 favorite. The over and under is 51. They're predicting the score to be USC 27, Colorado 16.
This is their second game with a new coach.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, because he got fired after that Stanford loss, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I think they're in a disarray. I think this would be a good chance for Colorado to jump on them and win.
Are we going to take a commercial break?
Yeah, we'll take one right here, and then we'll come back. Our next game we'll be talking about will be the UNL Monroe versus number 16.
University of Louisiana Monroe. There it is.
Because we'll talk about Notre Dame and Connecticut later on down the road.
Okay. We're taking a break now.
Yeah, we'll take a break right now. Let me get everything stood up here. We'll be right back. This is the ASAP College Breakdown. We'll be back after our 2 commercial breaks.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the ASAP College Breakdown. This is Ray Cruz here. We'll be right. Montez will be right back here in a few minutes. I'll carry the show a little bit here on this game here. We're gonna go to one of our games that we need to break down here. So let's see here. Oh, we got somebody.
Florida State has a shot. I mean, Florida State's been around.
Are we going to cure the loop?
Forever. But I don't know that they're ever going to come back to prominence. I mean, they're playing Syracuse.
Yeah, but they're playing down at Doak Cannon Stadium. But the question is, will Florida State go 0-5? That's going to be the big question.
Can the
I
coach
believe
survive that? I mean, if they do you think the coach can survive that?
No, I don't think
No.
the team's playing for him.
No. Well, I mean, if you're 0-5 or 0-6 at Florida State, don't tell me that there was a couple of teams in there that you should have beaten. And if you can't get those guys to beat that team, yeah, maybe it's time to move on. Morehead State's maybe your speed.
I look at it. Two things. I told my wife's a Florida State fan. I told her two things are going to happen here. If they can't stop Syracuse's run, and Syracuse come down, play a good game, and get some confidence in the first two quarters, Florida State has no shot, and they will start the 0-5. But I think this is the first time, if they do, it'll be 0-5 season for Florida State. So if you look at it, the tail of the tape here, I mean, it's pretty much closely on offense. Pretty much number is 216 yards rushing. But good thing about Florida State is Florida State's only giving up 132.3 yards rushing per game. Florida State's coming off the loss against Louisville at 31-23, and Syracuse is coming off a victory against Liberty 24-21. So I mean, if you look at it this here, I mean, Liberty's not a bad school to play against and stuff like that. Got Hugh Freeze as the coach has turned that program around. So I mean, Syracuse had a better test. Louisville is a better team than Florida State. But if you look at the tail of the tape, what's going to happen here? Where does Florida State get their offense production from?
Well, it's all on the ground. I mean, it's all on the ground. They throw it a little, but it's almost like it's just an afterthought. They have to try to make it up when they don't get the run, the yardage on the ground that they want. I mean, they're not scoring enough points. I don't know that they have the offense to keep up with Syracuse. Ray, I gotta go. Hey, great. The show's all yours, bro. Okay. Yeah.
Why they sending substitutes for my man here? So we're talking about
that's my dude there from Oklahoma, man. He's a television color guy from Oklahoma. He's here visiting in St. Louis. Came down his first Major League Baseball game. We went to the Cubs-Cardinals series last night.
Yeah, so we're looking at this, and we're talking about Novell. Could this be now the curse of the Bobby Bowden? Since Bobby Bowden passed away, some teams got the curse of the Bambino in Boston. They had to break that. Cubs had to break the curse of the GOAT in sports, and is this going to be the curse that they had to break of Bobby Bowden?
See, I think Florida State did this to themselves for the way they treated him on the way out. It should have been a better plan for the exit strategy. So this is beyond a curse. This is what I like to call Bowden business. What's about to happen to this program? It's gonna be bad. I say another 2 years before that program tries to get over the hump, so to speak. Get over what has happened in the past. Should they bring in Dion? Should that be a situation? Why didn't they offer Dion the job? Who else can go out there and replace this guy? Because that's a big name institution to live up to the hype. And since the days of Jameis, it really has not been there. Hasn't been there. And nobody can go back to the days of yesteryear. Nobody can.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on a couple of things too about this. Florida State was bad when Bobby Bowden got there. Bobby Bowden turned into a promise, turned him into a beast, turned him into a national championship contender. Fisher continued on a little bit with Jameson there, as was their last best team there. And then Fisher started going hooray the last 3 or 4 years there at Florida State. And that's when the turn of the table. They thought they're going to get Willie Taggart, the hometown kid, growing up in the Florida State area. He became horrible after doing good down in South Florida, like Charlie Strong did. So then Charlie Strong went and did okay at Louisville and stuff like that. So, but I think Charlie Strong was better at the defensive coordinator position than as a head coach myself. And then if you look at it with Novell coming in, and that's not everybody's pick, that's the boosters pick, really. So to get the Florida State back to where they need to be, do they have to get the boosters out of the equation of trying to entice who they need to be as head coach?
Right.
So I mean, so if you look at this game here and this type of game, it's played in Doak Campbell Stadium for this game. So do you see anything resemblant of a Florida State victory against Syracuse today?
Florida State needs this victory, man. Like big time. This program really needs this for the integrity of Bobby. Dadgummit. They need this. They need this victory in more ways than one. The way they've lost games this year are not typical Florida State losses. They happen to other institutions and programs, but not to Florida State. So they need this victory. In the words of Marvin Graves, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the history and some of the stuff with Syracuse and Florida State, the Orangemen are wholly perfect, but the offensive line has started to play well for the first time in a very long time. It started with a running game that got stuffed by Rutgers, but rumbled for well over 200 yards against everyone else. Sean Tucker took over in the win over Liberty with 169 yards and scored. And now the Oranges are 3-0 when they run the ball for over 100 yards. So that's going to be the key for Florida State. You have to keep them under 100 yards to have a chance of beating Syracuse today. Do you think they get that job done today on defense?
They're going to try. They're going to try to identify the defense, make an identity for the team. But I think this type of game right here, not even looking at the past and what the school histories are when it comes to these two programs playing against each other. But Florida State really needs to change the tempo, the outlook of the game coming out from the tunnel, from the get-go. Do something different. Don't do what's expected and what's known. Do the unexpected and win the game and control the game.
Yeah, and then, they said right now all of a sudden Syracuse is playing defense. It's 10th in the nation, allowing on 261 yards per game. Look at some of the positive stuff that Florida State could take to win this game. The momentum thing with the Noles, they got to get their own hearts ripped out in the tough loss against Notre Dame and a brutal gaffe against Jacksonville State. This could have been a different team. This could have been a totally different team. They could have already had 2 wins right now. In the same they played good against Louisville. They only lost by 8 points in that contest. So I mean, if you look at this here with the problem, they terribly far away from that 3-1. That easier said than done. Obviously, Syracuse might be playing well, but beating Ohio and Albany isn't any big deal. The O did work against Rutgers and Liberty was a close fight win. They're talented here is FSU can just get a few early scores, come up with a few defensive stops that might mean everything. But then they said, however, Florida State lines aren't playing well. So the defensive line and offensive line for Florida State is not playing well. What do they need to do to get those two groups playing to Florida State standards?
That's a great point you just made. I don't think Florida State needs to go in this game trying to play the perfect game. If they don't get that 3rd and 5 situation and turn into a 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, go ahead and punt the ball. That's okay. That defense needs to be on point and understand the situation of the game. If you do this with this team inside the 30, inside the 40, here's where we could possibly get the ball for the offense. So I think the defense is going to dictate the game, and the special teams play for Florida State is going to become more important in this game than in the past 4 games.
Now, do you think Norvell's scheme of offensive scheme is really hampering Florida State, not getting their players adjusted to what he's running?
I do believe that because he's trying to. You can't get a 6'5" player out of a 5'8" kid. And that's what he's trying to do. He's stretching the limitations to a point where, hey, coach, we can't do this. Let us do this, coach. And let us show you what we can do. And he needs to go back to that formula. Because a lot of college coaches go into this scheme, look, I'm going to take what I know from high school, what I've been at other institutions, and bring to this program, and I'm going to do this. You can't make people do things that they're not physically capable of doing. There's no way possible.
I mean, we know that his plan works at like school in Memphis and stuff like that. At
Those
the smaller
are fast
school,
kids.
at a smaller school. Now, when he comes out of a smaller school and come to a big Power 5 team, do you think that he should have stayed where he was at and continued that role, and maybe Memphis will be where he should be and could have been turn him into a powerhouse team? I mean, some coaches are made like that, but you come into a team, you come into an institution that's got high hopes, it's got the pedigree of national championship, but if you don't bring it, you get criticized more. What's going to take him to turn this program around if he can't?
See, that's the thing, recognizing where you're at. Not where you came from, recognizing where you're at and utilizing the opportunities and the players that you have. And I think a lot of college coaches misjudge that opportunity. You have to understand what you have at hand and use those tools right there to exceed the program or go on with the process. And a lot of these coaches fail on that point. You can't teach at Jackson State the same way if you go into a Louisville situation or a USC situation. Each program is different. Each players are different. And when coaches realize that, I think they have a better high rate of success at the program institution.
Yeah. So if you're looking at this, the Florida State is favored by 5. The over and under is 51.
Jeez, that's dangerous. That's all the spread and the over under is dangerous because both of these teams do something crazy in the secondary. They play man and they take chances and they can't tackle well. So something crazy will happen in the secondary.
If you see Florida State is favored by 5, but you see you see more analysts picking Syracuse 27, Florida State 23. So who do you
5.5 and 51 points?
Yeah,
man, that's dangerous.
So
that makes somebody want to gamble.
So the question is, will Florida State go 0-5 after today?
No, they have the opportunity to go out with a victory. I got Florida State winning this one.
So you're gonna pull the Florida State card today.
Yeah, I got them winning this game. Dadgummit.
Well, I really don't like Syracuse. The bright orange, reminds me of Clemson. And anything with orange on it, I really don't like too much orange juice.
What? You don't have orange juice with your breakfast?
Well, I have orange juice with breakfast, but I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Not that bright orange. Too orange for me. I mean, dude, you got to understand.
Put a table in there and turn a little green.
Hey, they play in the Carrier Dome. Now they can go to Doak Cam and stay and play outside. But even though it's hot outside here in Florida, it's a nice weather.
The dumbest shit ever.
I mean, the fans arrive late there, but the good thing is the game is at 3:30, so the fans should not arrive late to this ball game. At noon kickoff, they arrive too late. They arrive probably about the second or third quarter. They arrive.
It's still coming in from Miami.
Yeah, so they got enough time to get there today, tailgating and all that stuff cooking. I can smell it all the way in Jacksonville here. It's only 2 hours away from Tallahassee. My wife probably be happy. I think Florida State will win this game today. So I have Florida State winning this game.
Gotcha.
So our next contest we're going to be talking about is a Conference USA Louisiana Tech playing against the ACC number 23 ranked team North Carolina State, coming off that big win against Clemson. What do you think about this game here?
This game played in Raleigh.
This game, they're playing Louisiana Tech at a Conference USA. This is playing in Carter Stadium today.
Is this a Wolfpack Nation?
Is this game a game that when you come off a big victory that you took your heart and soul that you needed to beat Clemson? Now, do you get the heartbreak game afterwards?
This is one of those games where NC State, they can prove they can hang with speed on defense because La Tech has speed in the backfield, the receiving core, the tight ends can break away from coverage. They have great hands, can run great routes. The offensive line can do their job. This is one of those games you got to go in with the complete food plan.
If you look at some of the situation here, I mean, State's offense is a little bit better than, total yards is 438.3 to 396.5 to Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech coming in at 2-2. North Carolina State's coming in 3-1. They're 1-1. North Carolina State's 1-1 against Power 5 teams, but they're undefeated against small schools this season. O'Leary's been doing pretty good. The defense played pretty good against Clemson, even though they had to take them in overtime to win that game. It's a hard fought game, so they had to play one extra overtime. So conditioning and the players are in the emotion of the Clemson game. That Clemson game take a lot of emotion out of North Carolina State, and they know when they're facing Louisiana Tech in this pivotal game here.
Right.
So, but if you look at it here, North Carolina State's rushing game is pretty good. They got a good quarterback in O'Leary. They got the two hit monster in running back position in Person and Knight. And then if you look at it here, if you look at the defense, La Tech's defense is giving up 485.5. North Carolina State's defense is only 249. But the key here is Wolfpack's rushing defense is only giving up 80.3 yards per game. And this is without one of their best linebackers in Wilson, who got injured and is probably going to miss the rest of the season.
He's not going to – he's out for the game. I thought it was a game time decision. He's out for the game?
I think so. I think he's supposed to be out for the season.
That's tough. I
think Patrick Willis is –
So who you got one of this one?
Well, I look at my notes here and I see this game is at Carter Stadium. This game is on the ESPN Plus / ACC Network. North Carolina State comes in 3-1. Louisiana Tech comes in 2-2. Some of the key victories, the keys for Louisiana Tech to win is going to be they have to stay out of it being inconsistent. They have to be more consistent.
I like Wolfpack Nation in this one.
You taking the Wolfpack?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go. So you're gonna say this is not gonna be one of them heartbreak games after a big game.
No, not at all.
The team played a level of competition. North Carolina's coming off the big win over Clemson, and with the trip to Boston College and Miami up next, North Carolina State isn't generating any sort of pass rush, doesn't hit anything downfield with the passing game. Louisiana Tech has at least status as one of the nation's worst pass defense. Yes, you can see by the tail of the tape. That's going to help North Carolina State. That could get them going down the field, very consistently in today's game. They allowed Mississippi State and SMU over 1,200 yards through the air in the first 3 games before dealing with North Texas. North Carolina State might not be perfect, but the defense has been a rock, especially against a better passing game. The D allows a ACC low 249 yards per game and a little through the air, but more than anything else is outstanding on third down. So the North Carolina State has the third down defense that working for them. They are forced 2 Wolfpack turnovers to stay in the game, but that was the Clemson side. So North Carolina State is favored by 20.5 in this ball game. The over and under is 54.5. and they're playing in Carter Fielding Stadium. I think North Carolina State wins this game myself.
Yeah, I got North Carolina. I got the Wolfpack Nation.
So, let's look at it here. All right, who do you have for the Eastern Michigan and Northern Illinois game? This game is played at 2:30 in Husky Stadium.
Give me Tony Romo, Northern Illinois.
Yeah, I think they
Week in a
handled.
row, I'm taking them.
I think they handled Eastern Michigan easily. We're looking at University of Central Florida will go up to Annapolis to play the Midshipmen's of Navy at 3:30. So who you have in this game?
In this matchup here, I'm looking at the stats for, you said Eastern Michigan and who?
No, Central Florida and Navy.
Oh, man, I'm a Navy man all the way, bro. All the way. I know what Central Florida has done statistically, improving the athletic program, the improvisions they did for the student body and understanding the student athlete. I understand all of that. But you still got to get out there and play on the gridiron. Give me my Navy football. Give me triple option all day.
Well, I mean, Navy has not been up to Navy's par this year in the games.
A change
So-
will come.
I think they're playing in the Navy Marine Corps Stadium up in Annapolis today. I think the defense will come and play. I think they will come and play. But I think USC's offense is a little bit too much. And I think I'm going to go with USC on this one.
Sometimes I think that Navy's defense should play offense.
They should. I mean, they should turn the ball over and try to get some scores.
That defense can move so good. It's like they know their role. It's like a role reversal to me. And I wish both coaches would talk at the same time, the offense coordinator and defense coordinator. Can we utilize the situation here?
Yeah.
How can we get over the hump? Because true Navy football, I think the best record we ever had, I think 7 wins was the most wins, I think, since 89, probably in Navy history. I don't
Right.
think they've had 10 wins ever before.
So
But
I look
I
at
saw a great promise out of this program. But
right.
it's not living up to the expectation.
So we go from a beautiful stadium in Annapolis, up in Maryland, the Navy Marine Corps, to an ugly stadium in Bryce Stadium in South Carolina for the game of Troy at South Carolina. So who are you taking in this ball game?
You are really spitting out your Carolina love right now. You call Bryce. You just basically called Bryce Stadium a shithole. You know that?
Yeah, it's just like a hole in the middle of downtown. I mean, how can you get over a stadium downtown? I had a hard time going to Turner Field because of downtown Atlanta.
To me,
Almost
that
got
is
robbed.
funny. Because people don't know. I don't, because you don't wear your colors. People don't know you're a Carolina fan. But by the way you started off that whole segment on breaking down this game, it's hilarious to me because you're a Carolina fan.
Hey,
I got South Carolina winning this one. Giving them Gamecocks all day.
I'll pick South Carolina to win, but I hope this win will give them a little bit of price. I hope they pay too much for Troy to come into the stadium.
You want
'Cause
two
these
players
still
with 10
migrate.
ACL.
All right, so we're going to move from Bryce Stadium down to Florida International and Florida Atlantic down in the Miami location area.
Whoever has the hottest cheerleaders. I got Florida Atlantic.
So you're going with Butch Davis in the Florida Atlantic, I think.
Butch
me too.
Davis trying to really slide back into that name focal point for the USC coaching job and maybe the next predecessor to Florida State. Think about it.
Yeah, but the only thing about the ACC, coming back to the ACC, he had that scandal at North Carolina. So, as long as he don't bring back that Oklahoma line coach that did North Carolina wrong. that started that
As long
scam.
as you don't have your brother-in-law, your coaching staff that did a sexual act, you can make it.
True that.
You can make
All
it.
right, so we're gonna go with the Central Michigan at Miami, Ohio.
I'm going with Central Michigan because my son is a junior there at Central Michigan.
Ain't that the road team?
I do believe.
Well, Miami, Ohio's big Ben Roethlisberger's alma mater there, and Big Ben's been doing so. But I'm going with the road. The road team is coming in. They're going to be rolling all the way from Central Michigan all the way back. It's just going to be a one road, completely stopped round trip. I think Central Michigan will win.
You said Big Ben?
Yeah, Big Ben played at Miami, Ohio.
My bad.
But I ain't pick them. I went with the road team. We have Ohio, not the Ohio State, but plain Ohio, the Green Bobcats versus Akron.
Akron likes to throw the ball, I do believe.
Yeah.
Am I right on this?
Yeah, right.
Akron likes to throw the damn ball. They may not have a first round or a second round quarterback, but they probably have a third or fourth round quarterback that can make a big difference because they know how to throw the ball. Arm strength, arm talent is different in collegiate matchups like this.
That is true. That is so true. So you're going with Akron.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm trying to watch college football game day at the same time. My bad.
I'm going to go with Ohio. I think that it's going to be a green. I think the money is going to flow in. I think they're just going to despise LeBron James' hometown anyway. So,
Oh, LeBron.
So, all right. You picked Bowling Green last week. Are you going to stay with Bowling Green versus Kent State?
Ooh. This is a good matchup. This is what time is this game?
This game is at 3:30.
3:30.
It's at Dick Stadium in Kent, Ohio.
I like both of these schools, man. I like both of these programs, Bowling Green and Kent State.
Bowling Green
is going to be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah.
This is going to be a high-scoring game. What's the over and what's the spread?
I don't know the over and the spread on this one.
This is one of those games where nobody's going to believe what happens in the game. When you watch the highlights, you're going to be like, what just happened? It's
I'll
like
tell you in a minute.
converting a 3rd and 49 type game.
I'll tell you in 1 second here. Hold on. So I'm looking it up right now. Let's see. I see whether you got the betting. The spread is 16.5 favor Kent State, and the total points is 55.5. Is the over and under.
Oh my God! If that's not a tease, I don't know what it is.
So, are you going for the home team or are you going for the road team?
Oh man, I like this home team.
You like the home team?
I like that home team. If my bookie is real kind to me, he's going to give me a couple points.
Well, I got some history with Kent State. My brother went to Kent State for his master's degree. It's a beautiful campus. Been up there. Went to his graduation at the basketball facility. Football facility is okay, but I think the gun is going to be blazing in Kent, Ohio. I think that's what Bowling Green's probably going to be scared. So I have Kent State also winning this game.
Since you name dropping on master's program, my nephew is in his master's program at St. Louis University. How about that?
There you go. My brother graduated from UNCG, then went up to Kent State.
We got St. Louis University in the building up in here.
All righty. So we're looking at the South Florida versus SMU.
Ooh. The Mustangs versus Who the hell is South Florida?
The Bulls.
I like that USF. I like what they've been putting out into the NFL funnel cake, so to speak. I like it. I
So you
like the
going
whole
with South
program.
Florida?
I haven't really paid attention to SMU in like 3 or 4 years because something happened in a coaching program. Somebody went in that Me Too shit, or the new current didn't get it and fucked it up. So I've been on this USF for a while.
So you going with South Florida?
Yes.
So you're going to the Florida equivalent to Duke football team.
You know I will. Yes. You're
I'm going
Carolina.
with I'm going with SMU because SMU has been dominating the last few games. Their offense has been picked up. They're airing it out again. They're on that suspension. I think this year they come off of it next year. I think so. I think SMU is just trying to ruin other people's season. So I have SMU winning that game. All right. So we got Georgia Southern. We got Arkansas State going into Georgia Southern at 4:00. So who do you have?
South Florida.
No, Georgia Southern and Arkansas State.
Oh, Georgia Southern. What they did last week, they played ball. Even though they lost that game, they played ball. That's one of those games you can build off a loss.
So you got Georgia Southern?
Yep.
I have Arkansas State. I think Brian Anderson's offense is going to come and play today.
Did
right.
Brian Anderson used to be on the coaching staff of Nick Saban?
Yeah.
Like a tight end coach or offensive
No.
line?
Brian Anderson used to be the offensive coordinator on Larry Fedora. First year at Carolina.
Okay.
He left and South Control came, and then he left to go to North Texas.
North
All
Texas
right, so now we're looking at Army at Ball State. Who you got?
All State Insurance. The good hands people.
Ball State.
Give me Ball State. Give me David Letterman. You.
Well, I mean, the Army is playing defend our countries and stuff like that, but they have no offense. So, and it's playing at Ball State. I'm gonna go with Ball State too. All right. How about Washington State at California?
The Bears. Man.
California and Washington State. The
like
Cougars
California.
and the Bears. Huh?
I like California.
So Barkley is gonna be partying tonight.
I like California. They have good collegiate athletes that cannot play in the NFL.
Well, Jared Goff came from there, and Aaron Rodgers came from there.
You just named two people.
Well, not so fast, my friend.
Play on Saturdays, but not on Sundays.
I think Washington. I think the Cougars is going to go into California Memorial Stadium and upset California.
Would this be an upset? This would be expected.
It could be. How about the running Rebels of UNLV and UTSA, University of Texas at San Antonio?
University of Nevada, Las Vegas, facing University of Texas, San Antonio.
In San
Antonio?
Yeah, they're playing in the Alamo Dome.
The River game? This the Riverwalk game?
Yeah, it's the last dance in the Alamo. It's playing in the Alamo.
So UTSA gonna try to come out of there. They're gonna try to win this one. I got UTSA on this one. I don't think it'd be an upset or a shocker. or challenging game or somebody trying to prove one another, I think each programmers know their place. UNLV know, look, we going to this game, we're not going to win this. The expectations not high or low. And then as well as UTSA on the same side is like, we got to go out here and execute the program that coaches laid out for us. Here it is. I like their quarterback. I like the slot receiver on UTSA. He reminds me of Deshaun Jackson. I can't remember that kid's name. I like him. He's fast and he has great hands.
I think UNLV is going to run all over them, just known as the running Rebels.
Huh.
Yep.
I respect that.
So we're going to go back into one of our other games here. We're going to bring up the slide here on for this one. So we're going to bring up the number 21 Baylor versus number 19 Oklahoma State in Stillwater. So if you look at this game here today, what's your take on this game? How do you see this game coming out in your perspective? Is it going to be the whole?
These two teams are looking at the rankings. This game is more about rivalry, history, nostalgia, and getting the job done. Getting the job done. You know how both programs have acted in the past and what they're trying to do moving forward? You know what you're getting out of the coaching staff, what you're trying to get out of the players. This game could go either way, but I think this is going to be one of those games that's decided in the third quarter. It's going to be a close-knit game into the third quarter, but both programs are trying to prove that's not the ranking in the parentheses. This is not a parentheses game. This is more important than the parentheses. Don't look at the number when you're watching this game. Look at the programs. And they're trying to revitalize both programs, to me, if you're looking at both of these institutions when it comes to college football. Someone's trying to say, hey, I belong here. I need to be in a discussion, and why not me? Those three things will be addressed on this game.
I agree with it. This game is at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. It's at Pickett Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This game is on ESPN2. Both teams come in at 4-0. Baylor comes in at ranked number 21. Oklahoma State comes in ranked number 19. This is a battle of two ranked teams in the one of many ranked teams going up against each other today. Of this aspect of this game here, I look at Baylor's, Baylor 31-29 victory over Iowa State, made them 4-0. The offense might not have rolled against the Cyclones, but the D held the firm, and the O made the most of their opportunities. Forget the overall stats again. That looks like Baylor's first three games, but the passing game really is ineffective enough to at least keep the chains moving. However, can Oklahoma State's defense slow that offense down where they can't keep making on third down conversions? They couldn't throw it against Oklahoma State. Hasn't played the same type of games twice. They couldn't throw the ball against Boise State, but the running game was great. The passing attack was terrific against Kansas State, but the running was hard, and there wasn't much of anything happening against Tulsa. There has been a lot of pretty about this Cowboys team. So the Cowboys gets in their way sometimes. They have not put a complete game on offense together. They have not put a running game on our passing game. If the running game is effective, then they are good. Running the ball and not good passing the ball. The passing game is working. The running game is not good. So they're inconsistent on offense. What you're looking at this game here, Baylor comes in with overall 491.3 total yards on offense at 372.8, but Baylor's defense is only giving up 290 yards, 0.3 per game to the Cowboys 311.5 a game. But the Cowboys' rushing defense is only giving up 87.0 per game. But Baylor's rushing game is averaging over 273.5 yards a game. So if you're looking at the contrast of the defense, you tell me that Baylor is not going to be able to run the ball on the Cowboys' stats. That's why we play the game on the field. So do you think Baylor's running attack will beat out the Oklahoma State's run defense this time?
I don't think Baylor's going to go in this game trying to run the ball. I think Baylor's going to try to go back to the days of the early 2000s when they were really throwing the ball, emphasizing the passing game, showing what their tall receivers can do. The guys over 6'2" that can really stretch the field, got good hands, can run routes. I think they're going to try to expose that factor. But on the other side, you got Oklahoma State trying to prove, look, we're not just an offensive school. Let me show you what we can do on the defensive side of the ball as well. So I think they're both going to try to challenge each other with the secondary of Oklahoma State and the passing game of Baylor. But I think Baylor's going to try to get out of the box, trying to do something they're not normally known to do when it comes to game preparation, and get themselves in a situation where it's good field position for the defense, but it's going to stall the drive for the offense. Like they get in a situation on the other side of the 50, like on that 40-yard hash mark, trying to get inside the 30 or inside the 20 in that red zone factor. But a crucial turnover is going to happen because they're trying to do something that's not just along the sideline, but in the middle of the game with the slot receiver and the tight end. But I still see this game being real close, but a high-scoring affair. Very high-scoring game.
You say that high-scoring game and stuff like that, too, but I see it a little bit what Oklahoma State is going to try to do. You talk about Baylor's passing game, but their rushing attack has been more important this season. They've been rushing for 273.5, but they only been passing for 217.8
right.
yards.
But you also pointed out Oklahoma's they run stop defense. So let's say Baylor looks at that and goes in this game plan like, look, let's throw the ball. Let's throw the ball. When they come out and they get the kickoff or whatnot, or defense or offense gets the ball first, whoever it may be, I think they're going to come out throwing the ball, trying to set the tone for the game.
So, yeah, you can do that. You can pass the ball and set up your running a game, because if you have more
run the ball more in the second half. Yeah, I agree with you.
Because if you look at it this way too, Larry Fedora sometimes sets his passing game, sets up his running game.
Yeah,
and that's what he's done so far.
Recipe for a victory right there. Give what the defense gives you, expose your passing game, let the running game set the course.
So the over and under for this game is 47.5. Oklahoma State's favored by 3.5. So you say the score is going to be over to 47.5? Under.
High scoring, what I mean by both programs.
So some people are saying Oklahoma State is going to win 28 to Baylor 24.
Woo!
So you think Oklahoma State's going to probably score like under the 28 points, and then Baylor's going to score under the 24 points?
What's the over under? 47?
47.5.
I could see a 21-24 game.
And who you got for the victory in this game?
Man. Give me Oklahoma State.
Putting you on the spot, man.
Give me Oklahoma State. I got my crew here visiting from Oklahoma, so I got to ride with Oklahoma all day.
Hey, don't let them peer pressure now.
This is Dre pressure. We're in the Super Bowl, so I got to put it on me today. I got to roll with these Oklahoma State guys.
Well, they're not playing in Waco. They're playing up in Stillwater. Stillwater is a tough place to play. Larry Fedora, is a good offensive minded, but I think he has Baylor going in the right direction. But I think Oklahoma State is going to stay served. I'm picking Oklahoma State in this game. So,
gotcha.
All right, our next big contest here today will be number 22 Auburn versus LSU.
Tigers and Tigers, oh my.
Yes, a lot of Tigers.
Them Auburn Tigers versus LSU.
Yes. Here's your tale of the
versus the Bengals. The Bayou.
Yep, Tigers versus Tigers. But it's played in Death Valley.
In the words of who you liking this?
Well, I have gone back and forth. I've been talking like Egeron, trying to get in his head. It's kind of hard to get in his head, but anyway, trying to talk like him and hurt my throat. Yeah, can't really get it going now.
Ed Orgeron.
Yeah. He sounds like that kid, that guy from Waterboy in the overhaul.
Yep. He is the Waterboy coach.
So, to me, I think Auburn has a better offense, but Auburn's defense has been hauling surge today. They're only giving up 98.5 rushing, but the rushing attack for LSU has only been giving up 80. Has only been doing 80 yards per game. So, I mean, that right there is a little bit not LSU like. But the passing attack has been 290.
Is Auburn War Eagle?
Yeah, they call them War Eagle, but they're Tigers.
Yeah.
They have an eagle that flies in the stadium.
Yeah.
Pre-game. They call them the War Eagles, but they are. But I don't know how to get the eagle and that. I have to look that up. I'll tell you about next week.
Southern folk.
Yeah, I know. But anyways,
we have NASCAR collection plates.
Yeah, if you look at this, the Auburn defense is only giving up 185 yards passing per game, but LSU's passing attack has been doing 297.8 per game. But Auburn has been a balanced offense. They've been doing passing 227.3, and they have rushing of 257.0. LSU's defense is only giving up 108 rushing and 235 yards in the air. So what's going to give for Auburn to win this game in Death Valley, playing against the LSU Tiger in front of Mike the Tiger and locked in the cage?
I love the Auburn football people. Great fans. Great history of that program. Should have won some games they didn't win in history's past, but I got a strange feeling. This game is more important to Auburn than LSU, but LSU needs this victory for the sake of waterboard coach.
That's wrong.
Ed Orgeron. I got LSU winning this game.
Yeah, this game is at 9:00 Eastern time. It might be past. That might be past Orgeron's bedtime. It's played at Tiger Stadium at Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which they call it Death Valley down there. The
If
team
you
is
call it
relentless.
Wacko, I'm gonna call it Death Valley.
Yeah, so we're going from a team that's wacko to a team that likes to kill people. But Auburn's offense has been hitting with the passing of T.J. Finley, who transferred out of North Carolina State, knowing that he wasn't going to get any playing time, so he transferred out. The older brother that played at North Carolina State, Finley. So he stepped in and hit 9 for 16 for 97 yards and a score. Is Nix hurt?
I think so. I think he may be a game time decision, which they got to release within the next 15 minutes. If they didn't already do it.
The former LSU Tiger threw for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns in last week's 24-13 loss. Auburn is now he's on the other side, giving his new team another option to go along with Bo Nix, a serviceable SEC quarterback who had one of his best completion of 75% for 300 yards in last year's win. This season, LSU is having a major defensive issue on third down. The third down defense has been lacking big time. For LSU to win is LSU's pass rush has to be decisive. They have to be on point. They have to get to Bo Nix. They have to get to the quarterback. They have to sack the quarterback for them to win and cause turnover. Pressure has to cause the turnover. If LSU's defense don't have 2 or 3 turnovers and at least 1 pick six, they're not going to win this game today. Do you agree with that assessment?
I agree with everything you just said, but more importantly, this is one of those games that this is a morale victory. They need this for the coaching staff, for the players that are about to leave, and whether they're going to play on Sundays or going to their other careers. They need this victory. for the program. So I think LSU is going to go out here with a conventional game plan that we haven't seen in the first 3 weeks of college football. We haven't seen this yet. What they're going to do there? Maybe game tempo, maybe the regimen of the pass to the run, as far as the coalition of how they're going to pull this off, or just beating the passing game up, stretching the sideline of the field, or exposing the middle of the field. But I think LSU is really going to try to come in this game and let people know, hey, we're still part of LSU. We're still part of the SEC, and we are the Bayou Bengals. I think Ed Orgeron is going to come up with a game plan like that to attack, attack, and attack.
I think that's what he needs to do. I think he needs to attack more and put more pressure on the quarterback of LSU of Auburn. If Auburn sits there and the quarterback sits there, and he could pick them away. So that's what I think. I think Bo Nix is going to probably pick them away. I think they're going to keep the defense out of the line out of there. But I know it's hard to play in front of 100,000 people in the stadium that sits on top of you, and that stadium rocks when the crowd gets there. I think the crowd's going to be a factor in this ball game. I think Auburn's going to have a hard time communicating on the field. That could lead some of LSU's wins. I think LSU's wins comes from the crowd initiation of Mueller delivering more false starts than anything. I think this is going to be the first time this head coach is in there for Auburn to come into LSU. Don't know what to expect. He's going to have a rough nightmare. I think the Tigers are going to run. I think the Yellow Tigers are going to run wild over the Orange Tigers today. I know my friend at church isn't part not going to like it, but I think LSU wins a close one on the last second field goal. I'm picking LSU on this one.
Yeah, I got LSU as well. I definitely have these guys win this game. And they need this victory. As I've said before, I think the coaching staff and the senior players and the junior players need this as, hey, we're more than Joe Burrow. Let me show you what else we have to offer.
I agree with you. I think that's going to really put up a lot of stuff here. And what I'm about to show you here is the next game we're going to play. And, this is going to be a very interesting segue for you because I'm about to show you who we're going to go up against next. We're going to pick the Florida Gators and the Kentucky game here. We're going to we'll talk about this game here for a few minutes. Before we do that, let me give you the thing. The over and under is 54.5 for the Auburn and LSU game. LSU is favored by 3.5. Some people are predicting the score of LSU 27, Auburn 24. So now we're going to talk about LSU. Yeah, we're going to talk about your team here. You say you like Kentucky in basketball, you like Florida in football. So why is this interesting here? Because last week you chose Kentucky because they were a basketball school, and you picked your team because you're a Gator fan. So now we're going to go over here. We got your best basketball against your football school. That's why it's a very accessible segue for this here. This game is played at 6 o'clock tonight at Kroger Field. They're playing at a grocery store in Lexington, Kentucky. Games out on ESPN. Florida's 3-1. Kentucky is 4-0. You don't see that every day. You don't see a Kentucky team coming in 4-0 against a 3-1 Gator team. But we know the Gator can play with anybody. They played against Alabama, very tough. So what do you see this game in at Kroger Field, which I think is a grocery store name? What's your feeling about this game?
Grocery store thing. Not since the days of Jared Lorenzen at Kentucky and their defense and their special teams. Great corners, great safeties, great exceptional program. Strange things happen when we play them in baseball, football, soccer, and a game of football. Just things happen in this game. I don't see this being a lopsided event, but I can see Florida learning something, how to continue the mission to get to the SEC championship by putting out a proven and winning game plan and beating Kentucky today. But I don't think it's going to be an easy thing. We're going to win. The score is not going to dictate the game. You know, you have those 2 late second scores within the final 5 minutes, but the team competed the whole game. This is going to be one of those games where Kentucky competed the whole game, but the last 5 minutes of the game gets lopsided. We could score 14 or 21 points. You can look up at the TV and see that Florida won this game 56-21 or either 42-14. It could get really lopsided in the last 5 minutes of the game, but I got Florida all damn dead.
Well, I look at it this way, too. I agree with some of the aspect that you're saying about the Gators. The Gators running game continue to be fantastic. They're still playing, you know, Emory Jones, whose passing game has been pretty good. It's not – he's been inconsistent. He's been inconsistent at times, and at times he looks pretty good, and he's got his legs to fall back on. I don't know if
Mama needs to go all his games.
I don't know if Richardson is gonna be back for this game or not. The real good quarterback that Florida has, that's a little bit better than Emory Jones. What's the status on Richardson? Is he coming back?
I would save him for the Florida-Georgia game. I really would. The largest outdoor cocktail party. If I come down, I'm going to let you know.
All right, let me know.
Because I'm trying to make my way down there for that game.
I walk around the stadium, and I get handed beers left and right. I don't even have to pay for beers.
We could set up a table outside and do the show that morning.
Oh yeah, I'll be game for it.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this because my 51st birthday is in 3 weeks, so I'm trying to figure out the way to get down there.
All right, you let me know.
I definitely
we'll figure out a way to put all our data together on our phones and do actual shows from down there. I got a camera that works off of Wi-Fi, so
okay. We can definitely do it.
I can set the tripod. I got it on. We can actually do it from outside and put a tent up and take some of the sun. But anyway, we're looking at this game here. The Gators are averaging well over 300 yards per game on the ground, 7.6 yards per carry. Do they stay? So far, you know, Kentucky run defense has been solid. Missouri was able to throw its way for a close 300 yards, but for the most part, the defense has been tough up front, allowing 104 yards rushing, a fewer against the 3 FBS teams on the state. The UK University of Kentucky's team is trying to be more explosive, added more of the downfield passing element to its style, but has also been able to control the clock. It's a great on third downs. The Lions has been strong and overall is number 2 defense among SEC teams behind Georgia. So if Kentucky get that running game and keep Florida's offense off the field, Kentucky could have a shot winning this game today in Kentucky at Kroger Field, or else they're going to go and get the milk out of the cold locker. I understand the history of this game. It could be close. It could be far and test. UK outside of the 27-16 defeat have gone back.
If we go in this game looking at past history and knowing what the SEC has done and knowing what Florida capabilities can be, we're going to lose this game. But if we go in this game understanding what we have and what we have the potential of doing, we're going to beat the shit out of Kentucky. I'm talking like 58-13 type shit. We could pull this off today. But if Brad goes in here tripping, getting his own emotions, listening to the media, it's going to be a close game like 21-17 type shit, Florida. And I don't need that. I need a blowout. And we know college football rankings don't go on blowouts no more. They go on strength of schedule, and that's it. They don't care how many points you scored no more. It's what you did in the game. Did you win or lose?
Yeah.
That's what they're looking at.
And then Florida has a turnover issue, but Kentucky's are worse with a -9 turnover margin, thanks to 3 turnovers in 3 of the 4 games. More than anything else, Kentucky and it's Florida. 2018, Dan Mullen era did exactly what it couldn't do to get rolling. It lost to UK. Outside of the 27-16 defeat, you have to go back to 1986 for the only other time in the last 45 years that the Big Blue was able to win. Florida's offense gets going fast on the ground, but the defense front will put up a strong performance too. UK attack will struggle to get its own rushing game going. That's what they're predicting. The over and under in this game is 55. Florida's 8.5 favorite. Some people are predicting the score to be Florida 34, Kentucky 23. So you got Florida in this game?
Yes, all day. All day. If we put up 40 points, that's huge. I know it's Kentucky, but if we put up 40 points, that's huge. I don't want Kentucky. On my Florida defense, I'm sorry. I need my Florida defense, my linebackers, and my secondary to really show up in this game because we already know Kentucky's going to try to throw the ball as opposed to running the ball. They're going to try to run the ball against my defense, but if they get into throwing the ball game, my linebackers and my secondary are going to have a big day. I see 2 pick six coming out of this. 2.
All right, so we got a little bit. We're going to go ahead and just predict this game here. We was going to talk about it, but we got to cut down some time here. Trying to keep the show right at 12 o'clock today. So we're going to run through some of these real quick. I'll talk a little bit about them here, but we're going to go off a little bit of a game plan. We got to throw an audible here for time constraints. So the games we got left here, we got the number 7 Cincinnati versus number 9 Notre Dame. Who do you have?
Give me the Golden Domers, even though I like the Natty. I think they're going to compete in this game. This is not a basketball team. This is a football program. Huggy Bear has moved on. But the Natty is trying to make a name for that program on the gridiron. But I got the Golden Domers winning this game. It's going to be closer than what most people think, but Notre Dame is going to win this game.
I have not so fast, my friend. I have Cincinnati going into Notre Dame, and the Holy Gods is not going to be good to Notre Dame today. I think Cincinnati is on the.
Got Notre Dame losing.
Yep.
To the Natty.
Yep.
Breaking news.
Yep.
Give me a score. Give me the score differential right now.
24-21.
Wow. So that's second half football.
Yeah.
Wow. That would upset the turnstile of college football.
I told you, the Heavenly Gods is going to be unruly for Notre Dame today.
That's like the weekend that Alabama, the Horned Frogs, and Oklahoma lost in the same weekend.
Yep. All right. All right, how about UNL Monroe versus number 16 Coastal Carolina down in Conway, South Carolina?
Look, that's close to Myrtle Beach. Give me Coastal Carolina all day.
Yeah, we agree on that point. I have Coastal Carolina also because the beautiful women is going to distract the quarterback for UNL Monroe to throw a lot of interceptions.
Hot women make the day.
All right, how about number 1 Alabama versus number 12 Ole Miss?
Look, I know the last 3 Heisman quarterback winners all beat Alabama. That's the hidden intangible of this game. And Ole Miss quarterback is like the Heisman hopeful. Thank you, Mel Kiper Jr. But Alabama and Nick Saban listens a whole lot. And then his best friend is seeing his old son from his baby mama this weekend. Alabama going to go out here and make a statement. They may shut these fuckers out 70-0.
I don't know. Ole Miss has been playing Alabama pretty good the last few years. And didn't they go into Denny Stadium last time and beat Alabama?
That's what I said.
When they were ranked?
Who was the quarterback?
Yeah.
The last 3 Heisman Trophy winner quarterbacks all beat Alabama.
Yeah. Well, we know Trevor Lawrence beat him once in the playoffs. You know,
Do I have that
we
wrong?
had, yeah, he did it wrong. There's number one teams that had number one quarterbacks in the playoffs.
That's what it was. First round,
Yeah.
was it first round draft picks that beat?
Yeah, first round
Oklahoma?
draft pick. Yeah,
That's what it was. Yeah,
Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow are the last three.
yeah. They all
So-
beat him. And Baker, no, Johnny Manziel, he's in there.
Yeah. So I look at it this way. I think third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, they turn off the lights. I think Ole Miss lights gets turned out in the fourth quarter when the lights go out.
Here's the thing. People try to beat Alabama with trick plays. Stop doing that and just play football. Just play Bama straight up. Play them straight up. Stop doing trick plays. If you play them straight up, Nick Saban is going to get confused and wondering, trying to second guess your offensive demise, trying to come out there. But when it comes down to it, if you go in there and just play the game the way the game should be played, blah.
Right. All right, number 3, Oregon at Stanford.
Ooh, I like Oregon.
So you're going Oregon?
I like Oregon.
Yeah, I like the Ducks too. I think the change of uniform they're gonna go in the halftime part, change the uniforms, and Stanford ain't gonna know what hit them.
I want them to change uniforms every quarter in one game.
That'll be kind of hard. Got to send half the team in.
That's what she said. But yeah, they should pull that off because you got that television timeout.
Yeah.
There's enough time to pull it off.
How fast as them people can dress. All right, so number 6, Oklahoma goes into Kansas State. Do they come out with the victory?
Oklahoma gonna beat the shit out of Kansas State. Michael Bishop is gone. That's over with. Oklahoma is trying.
I think the Chuck Wagons gonna have their way today.
Yeah. Oklahoma's gonna win this game. I'm rolling with Oklahoma all weekend.
Well, let's finish up this first page, and that's the number 8 Arkansas versus number 2 Georgia.
I'll let you go first.
Well, this is being played between the hedge. I think Pittman is getting all the attention for Arkansas, the head coach. I don't think he likes the attention. I don't think Arkansas can handle the pressure. I think that between the edges, even though they stole the between the hedges from North Carolina itself, and you know, since we were the first team to have the hedges inside the stadium, they just copied us. But you know, we just let it be like it is. I think Georgia comes in with all those scare tactics with the fans behind them. I think Arkansas has done what they needed to do. I don't think Jerry Jones is going to make the trip to Athens. If I was Georgia, I would not let Jerry Jones nowhere near the stadium because they're undefeated with Jerry Jones inside the stadium. So I think that run is ended. I think Jerry Jones is not there, not going to be allowed into Georgia. So I think Georgia will win 25-24.
Wow. I got Arkansas all day. This is Arkansas's national championship game. Believe it or not, this is their bowl game. This is that Thanksgiving weekend game against Texas. This is a huge game for them. Yeah, the coach probably don't want the attention, but the players do. The recruiting class wants it. The fan base wants it. And we all know how the media feels. Nobody really has Arkansas on the radar. But watch what happens tomorrow afternoon. Arkansas is going to pull off an upset today. I don't even think it's called an upset. They're going to do it.
Number 2 versus number 8.
Exactly. They're going to go ahead and do what they should do. We know what Georgia can do when it comes to the run defense. We know that. They're doing unfathomable things with 300-pound men. We know that. But Arkansas is going to attack a different side of that defense of Georgia. They're going to expose some shit. Can you get out to the flats? Can you get out to the flats? Can you read and react? Arkansas is going to pull out something. They're going to need trick plays. Of the one football team today, They're going to need a trick play to beat Georgia. And it's going to be one of those trick plays that catches the cameraman off guard.
Well, if you look at this real quick, I'll put this up real quick here. But look at the tail of the tape here. Arkansas has got better offensive numbers, only by 26 yards. It looks like the defense. This is the kicker right here. Georgia's defense has only allowed 181 yards, 0.8 per game. They only allowed 115.8 passing, and only 66 yards rushing, and they only given up 5.8 points a game.
All that's out the window today. I'm putting these stats to another side because these two teams are going to try to expose each other's offense and defense, coaching abilities, and big name players. All that is going to come into fruition today when these two teams get on the gridiron today. Watch. None of this is going to matter. None of it.
Yeah, I can see that too, but I can also see that this game could be one of those Clemson and Georgia scoring game at the beginning of the season too. One of those.
Now, if Arkansas tries to come out and run the ball, the first 3 times on the first possession, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed.
Well, if Georgia's defense, if that scenario happens, look at Arkansas is rushing 261 yards per game to only Georgia's defense of 66 yards per game. So, I mean,
Georgia can't run the ball against Georgia. Everybody knows that. Don't run the ball against Georgia. Let go.
So they're running. So the best running game for them is throwing them quick outs to the receivers, or the little screen out of the backfield.
Yes, let's go Arkansas. You're not running the ball against Georgia. You're not doing it. No.
Well, I got Georgia winning this game because it's between the hedges. Georgia plays tough at home. Number 11, Ohio State goes into Rutgers.
Ohio State.
Yeah, I think the Scarlet Knights are going to be overmanned today at home, but it's probably going to be a little bit of closer game than people think. Texas Tech will go into West Virginia.
Give me the WV.
I think the Muskets going to be going off today too. I got West Virginia beating Texas Tech. Tulane, the Green Wave will ride the Green Wave into East Carolina, who loves the green scenery of the hill on victories. So who do you have?
Give me ECU.
I have ECU riding the Green Wave and conquering the Green Wave also. Nevada at Boise State and the Potato Field.
Of the Broncos. Give me Boise State.
I think the Wolfpack is going to be overmanned by the Broncos in the blue field. I think the blue field gives them advantage today. It's kind of hard on the eyesight, especially on TV. I can't watch the game.
I remember back in the 80s, they had the Blue Bonnet Bowl there.
Yeah. I couldn't watch it because it hurts my eyes on TV. Southern Miss goes into Rice. Who you got?
I like Rice. They got great receivers.
I think Rice's running game will beat that, and Brett Favre's not coming back to Southern Miss anytime soon. Air Force at New Mexico.
Give me New Mexico. I like their defense.
Yeah, I think the Air Force is gonna miss the plane on this one. I think they get shot down by Mexico's air defense missiles.
You said Air Force is gonna miss the plane. I think they're gonna get shot down on this. That's crazy.
All right, so Mississippi State will go into number 15, Texas A&M. Texas A&M with that loss last week. Is this a getting back on the win streak for Jimbo Fisher?
Jimbo Fisher's going to try to do things that he has not done before at A&M. Outscore the opponent in a big way and embarrass them. He's going to try to light up the scoreboard today because he's pissed off about what happened last week.
So you got A&M at Calfield. Yeah. I think they get back on the winning ways against Mike Leach.
But Mike Leach he's like the Phil Jackson, Belichick type coach. He doesn't talk about the game while the game is going on. he try to check your intelligence level in the middle of the game.
So we got Marshall at Middle Tennessee.
Thunder and Herd, baby. Give me Marshall.
Yeah, I think the Marshall's going to win that myself.
We are Marshall.
All right, Liberty and UAB at UNAB.
Oh man, I played softball down there at UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. Give me those guys. Football program, get me back.
I think the football program is good and everything, but I think Hugh Freeze has got Liberty going on a bigger note right now. I've got Liberty over UNAB. I really like UNAB, but I think Hugh Freeze is just doing a good job at Liberty. Kansas at Iowa State.
Wow. Man, Kansas football team does things I don't expect them to do. They compete in games. I'm like, what? They're still in this game? Then Iowa State doesn't know how to close. This one's up in the air, man, but I'm going to pull out Kansas winning this game.
Not so fast, my friend.
Very close game. Very close game.
Not so fast, my friend. I think Iowa State will learn how to close the game out. I think Kansas is just
You think?
just a basketball school right now because Duke blasted Kansas last week, so.
That was Duke.
All right, Indiana at Happy Valley at number 4 Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah, I think the last year was under the pandemic. No fans in the stadium helped out. Indiana, they got their high hopes for this year. So I think number 4 Penn State will blast Indiana and Happy Valley. I think Happy Valley will be happy tonight. Western Kentucky will go into number 17 Michigan State up in Spartan Stadium in East Lansing.
What's the matchup one more time?
I don't know what happened there.
What's the matchup again?
It's Western Kentucky at number 17 Michigan State.
Michigan State. Give me Sparty.
Yeah, I think the Spartans are doing good this year. They're moving up in the ranks. I think they're going to just keep moving upward. This is a bounce back game for number 25 Clemson. Boston College will come to town at Memorial Stadium, which is, they say, the true Death Valley.
Gotcha.
So you got Clemson or Boston
Yes.
College?
Give me Clemson. They're going to come back out of this one.
I'd say not so fast, my friend. I think Boston College is going to come down there and run them all over right now on that defense because Spencer is gone. That one of the best linebackers is out for the season. So he got hurt last week against NC State, and I think they had too many injuries for Clemson to come back and compete against Boston College. But so I have Boston College winning this game just by a field goal. All right, UConn versus Vanderbilt.
I'm going with Molly from ESPN, the first take. I'm going with UConn in the upset.
Yeah, I think the lower tier team of Vanderbilt, but it's an SEC team. I think the SEC team is going to be a mistake. I think Vanderbilt wins this game.
I like the Commodores, but I'm feeling UConn in this one.
Well, Northwestern will make the trip into the cornfield in Lincoln, Nebraska against the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Who do you got?
Nebraska.
Hey, I think the Nebraska team will be throwing a lot of corn on the field, so I think they're going to win. Even though Northwestern could be like a scarecrow,
Right.
Louisiana at South Alabama.
At who?
Louisiana at South Alabama.
Give me Louisiana.
Yeah, I think Bradshaw's Alabama is going to win that game. So we agree on that. Old Dominion at UTEP.
University of Texas El Paso, baby. Give me UTEP all day.
I think Old Dominion's going to bounce back, but again, it's in Texas, so I'm going with Utah myself. Washington Huskies against Oregon State, the Beavers.
Give me the Beavers. What can you say bad about a Beaver? I'll wait.
I can't say nothing bad about the Beaver, but I think the Dogs would be licking the Beaver.
The dog will be licking the Beavers.
So I have Washington pulling that one out. Arizona State against number 20, UCLA.
Man, give me Herm Edwards all day. We play to win the game.
Yeah, I like Arizona State, but I think UCLA's got a little bit better offense, and I think they're just gonna wear them down with a no huddle offense. So I'm taking UCLA because it's played at UCLA.
Right.
New Mexico State at San Jose State.
Give me San Jose State. Again, great receivers.
Yeah, I agree with you because they're playing at San Jose State. And our last game to pick today, they'll close out this college terror. We went overtime for like 1 minute. Number 18, Fresno State versus Hawaii in Aloha Stadium.
Man, give me Hawaii. 808 in the building, baby. 808 in the building.
Yeah, I have fun times down in Hawaii. Yeah, Shaka brother. I'm gonna take Hawaii in the upset.
Me too.
So I have rushed all the picks.
Teams to be picked together.
Oh, we got more than 9 teams.
9?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Damn.
14, 15. We picked over about 20 some games together.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's see what the results look like.
Yeah, so I got them all marked down. So I will look up the results and I'll update our tickler for today. This has been a great show. Time flies by when you're having fun. Thanks for joining us on the All Sports, All Play College Breakdown show. I'm Ray Cruz, Dre Montez, with his friends in the background. Coming
Oklahoma in the building.
I thought I was in a real football game. I'm inside Kenan Stadium right now.
I see you.
Yeah. Next week I'll probably be in another stadium. I don't know yet. No, they ain't fighting. They trying to get into the stadium right now. But the game is already on. So good luck to your Gators. Carolina and Duke is playing. You gotta get it over there to watch that game. So see y'all next week.
Gotcha. And we out.
Out of here.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.